months ago, she testified before a grand jury in California, where MySpace is based. Criminal charges are being
I have to roll a 6.
If they're home alone,
roll a 6, roll a 6, roll a 6.
And then we'll come back in about 10 minutes. We'll sneak in.
It's over!
Chances are they're probably in Cassie's room. So we'll sneak in the front door.
Probable conclusion, it's probable I'm gonna get my ass fucked!
Come out, investigate, kill him.
This is Peach's fault! Peaches did this to me!
I am gonna say this, alright? This is my official announcement. You can clip this. We wish Perry Caravello a speedy recovery. This is not cool what happened. I don't endorse any of this shit. I know that this is some crazy guy going around in his apartment complex, but this was not cool. Perry, I hope you get well soon. I hope you have a speedy recovery. I hope nobody fucks with you in this degree, because you do not deserve this. You're a funny guy to laugh at when you do funny stuff, but it's not cool when stuff like this, when you get physically assaulted. This is not cool. But we wish you a speedy recovery. We hope you get well soon and you get back to doing all the shenanigans we love to watch you for, which is, you know, Skittles related and other such nonsense.
Stir up a bunch of old.
Oh my god, it's Brent! Everyone shut up! Shut up! Roll out the red carpet!
It's over. That's what I'm saying.
What is... Oh, nice. Fuck. God damn it.
Oh my god, this is why I can't play this game, okay? I got married. Fucking Nintendo's gotta be so goddamn sexy.
John, I'm on my way. Just behave yourself for a bit longer.
Oh, the tactic completely failed. We have no fire.
Cool.
Oh. Ah. Ah. All right, get the gun. Oh. No. Put it away.
Why you don't want to freaking drill anything?
And thank you for the head pat. Alright. Don't do that to me, Vaughn. Don't spin like that. Can't believe that. It was the perfect kill shot too. I had the same thing that happened to me when I was in training. I shot a fucking hostage. It's funny as fuck though, because it was like literally like the perfect headshot. Like I got shot in the back, so then I just like quickly whipped around so fucking fast and just like put one right between the freaking hostage's eyes, and I was like, oh my god. And I don't know.
No, it's just grunting is annoying, TBH. Yeah, but when I'm working out and pushing myself, I'm gonna, you know, or struggle. I'm gonna, you know, shit happens, man. Excuse me. You know, you gotta. Working out makes noise if you're doing it right. Am I gonna see you on TikTok?
Intercept! Too late! I'm almost ready to get this one! Ladies of Faction 6! With this
Over 1,000 hours in
And this is the thing I loved about the game back in the day. I remember this. I used to go around and I would find, you know, caves, and I would go into these caves, and I would find
whoever the fuck Jesse plays LOL.
Only to find out that was part of a storyline later on, so it's a good thing I saved my shit, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna go use
and
the
then
bathroom.
I ended up killing certain people, and then, you know, you acquire their gear and all that kind of shit. But that was fun.
If Jesse has to carry the team, something is up.
It's a true.
Well, shoot. Oh my goodness. This run's going well.
I am the Prince of Titania. I do not know why I am here. I would like you to return me to the living world.
Once you enter this land, you cannot be allowed to leave. Whoever you are is irrelevant. Your careless existence makes you want to leave. This is the land of the dead. Once you taste death...
Probably hit it with a bomb from a tree. Let me try that. That sucks. This right here sucks. Shit. Never said I was good at this game, right? Let's see.
I hope you bring lots of spaghetti. Come on in, come to the place where fun never ends. Come on in, it's time to party with Garfield and friends. Dancing, fiesta, romancing, siesta, samba, la bamba. Ay caramba, disguises, surprises, and pies of all sizes. Come on in, come to the place where fun never ends. Come on in, it's time to party with Garfield and friends. Come on in, it's time to party with Garfield and friends. Garfield and friends.
And pay attention. There'll be a test at the end.
Yes, I guess we'll see. What the? Whoa. That was very odd. It looked like one person split in the four.
Take that, losers.
Freaking osmosis or whatever.
No, the wellspring.
Uh-oh. What?
They've stopped it up. You must make it to the wellspring and let the waters flow.
Oh no! Oh shit! Damn! Spontaneous, mummification? What was that? Something has happened to the wellspring of the Oriole and Brellock. I need to proceed on my own to this story. Yikes.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
I can't even, like, loot their corpses.
One of those,
Jeez, what the hell?
Streams where we
What? Look at that. They, like, turned the mold or something. Yeah.
What's up, Carl?
Well, this is gonna suck because I do this all on my own, don't I? Alright, let me save. I don't know about this now. This is gonna be tough now. Watch. I just received a $1 tip.
Alright, what the fuck were we doing
It's
last
Jesus.
time?
You think there are any regulars you can trust to moderate? I mean, here's the thing, okay? Can I be honest? I really have an issue now because I feel like anyone who I would moderate, I'm putting them into the line of fire of my detractors and haters. You know what I mean? Like, I at this point, I almost feel like it gets so bad that I don't want to put
I don't
someone
know what
else
he's been saying today.
to be doxxed and harassed online. You know, there's a couple of moderators of mine that I have that they can't even use like their real accounts. You know what I mean? Because they've already been harassed online. And it was like, we have to like, if you're gonna be a moderator, now you have to like hide your identity and shit. So for me, it's like, oh no. They're coming this way, aren't they? So listen, it's not like it's impossible to get into more mods, but like tonight, has the chat really been that bad tonight? To be honest, I don't think so. It's been a little annoying with these idiots coming in here, but it's not that bad. Oh, I knew it. It's not that bad, and I feel like it's kind of been at least under control to the point where we're having a good time. We can talk and everything with the with the protections that I have in place. You know, it's not like a waste of time or anything. So, you know, if it ever got so bad that like it got unbearable and my moderators couldn't make it, because the thing is, I could always ask them to show up more. You know, I haven't. I don't really care. A stream like this is not a big deal. But if people really had an issue, I felt like we really need more moderation, I could look into getting them show up more, or maybe getting more moderators. It's just not something I've been interested in recently. I just feel like, again, I don't want to put other people into the line of fire and more drama and more bullshit. We have enough, right? And seriously, it's not like it's like ruining the content or anything. Yeah, every once in a while I gotta moderate, big deal, right? That's right, it's just about ignoring the nonsense. If you see someone who's really being annoying, let me know, I'll take care of it. You know, someone saying something stupid, racist, insulting, I'll take care of it when I see it. It's not like horribly ruined or anything. I'm not really caring that much about it, honestly.
Do you care about it?
Let's see here. Go this way? No. This door's locked. There's no button. And there's no... Oh, there's the button. There's the button. Okay. Which door does this open? The left one. Both of them. Okay. Shoot. I was supposed to go this way, wasn't I? I can't jump here. You serious? They stuck me frozen on the ledge. Come on. I'm being chased, for God's sakes. I'm putting up with this nonsense. Let my platforming work, please. I know this is not Super Mario, but I got this far playing it like that. Here we go. Yeah, this is the way I'm supposed to go. Okay. Get to the wellspring of whatever. Hopscotch over, push the button, go. Open. Okay. More hopscotch. I've located the wellspring. It's been covered in order crystal. I need to destroy them. How do I destroy order crystals? Do I hit these? Okay. At the gong show. Run around, hit all the gongs. Ah! Oblivion had good voice actors, says Mark. I agree. Shame they didn't have more. Because you know it's a good, like, 12 voice actors. They're all great, but it is kind of ridiculous that it's the same voices used over and over, right? Alright, boom. Okay, I need to help Stada defeat the remnants of the forces of order. Wait. So that means Stada's gonna show up? Oh, Stada's actually gonna show up to help? Okay, I gotta stay alive then. Until they show up. Oh, God. Oh, that's a lot. Here they are. Okay, good. Let's stick with them. Let's stay together as a unit. Oh, my God. That's a lot of enemies. Come on, guys. Oh, I can't fight 3 at once. It's not good. Son of a bitch. I don't have any healing items either. Okay, I'll try to get this guy from behind. I got the chief kill. Now run. Hopefully they don't die. I hope that they tank it out. Because if they all die, I'm pretty boned. Hopefully they're getting kills over here. They are, because there's one right there. Follow them. There we go. Look at this, guys. Ah, I got split up from your pack, you sucker. Very nice. Where they going now? Oh, shit. They're behind me. Wow, come on, girls. Help me out. There we go. The remaining forces have been defeated. Seriously? Who's this guy? This guy's got a Halloween costume. Wrong place, wrong time. All right, we did it. Yeah.
The wellspring is restored. You have saved us. We are forever grateful.
Very
for your
nice.
grace. Please allow me to teach you this spell.
Oh, good.
So that you may summon our kind to you in time.
Oh yeah, I could have summoned the whole
Also,
time,
accept
huh?
This gift of armor. It is
The
the
whole
least
time?
I can do to show thanks for your help.
I forgot I have the summon spell. Remember I got that like a stream or two ago? I could have been summoning a minion to help me the whole time. I haven't been playing this often, so I forgot all about it. Well, at least I got it done anyway. Okay, what about Thaden, or what happens now? What about Thaden, who got away? Obviously, we're going to try to get him, right?
No sign of him yet. We'll do our best to track him down and deliver him to Lord Sheogorath for a fitting punishment. The traitor must be brought to justice.
All right, and what happens now?
Our warriors will scour the halls of Rella, removing any last elements of opposition. Then we will immediately return to our duties.
I shall take my leave. What armor she gave me?
Indeed, Lord Sheogorath will be anxious to hear of our victory, I am sure.
Achievement, Defender.
Speak.
We're at the end now.
Speak quickly, mortal.
What's going on? I can't move. Why can't I move? Am I over encumbered? I might be over encumbered. This armor she gave me might weigh like 1,000,000 pounds. I am monstrously over encumbered. I'm at 515. So let me put back on the ring that makes me lighter. Where is it? Was it Ring of Happiness? Why do I not see it? Uh-oh. Did it break? Oh, shit. I think my Ring of Happiness broke. So now I can't equip that to have more low, carry low. Oh! No, that's light. Shit. Oh, I have it on! I seriously have it on already? Okay, well, what if I take off the other ring then? What other ring do I have on? I have to get more equipment load. I think I have endurance, so I think that's equipment load. Mind and body, so take that off. And then I have fortify endurance by 10. That didn't do shit. Ugh. Well, alright. What armor did she actually give me? Oh, first of all, I don't want the linen shirt. Wait a minute. Golden Saint armor and Golden Saint helmet. What do they work? 28 defense. My armor is 6 defense. Golden Saint armor is 28 defense. Holy shit. It's more than 3 times the defense, more than 4 times the defense that I have right now. It weighs an insane amount. It weighs 110 pounds. Can it, now hold on a second. Can it be repaired with a standard hammer? Because that's really the key here. Can it be repaired with a standard hammer? I wonder. Shit. That's what it looks like. It's so fancy. The Golden Saint helmet is 4 defense. That's not very impressive, honestly. It's the same as the Ebony helmet. So, since it really doesn't have any special, I'll see what it looks like. Yeah, I don't like it either. Nah, we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna get rid of that. Let's dump the helmet. Is that really it? She just gave me the 2 items. But they seriously over-encumbered me by 100? 100. I guess I'll get rid of the Ebony Cuirass. So when I put on the armor, wait, that's my whole body. Oh, hold on a second here. This covers your whole body from head to toe. It unequipped the whole Ebony set. So if you actually add everything together, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the other was like 8, so it's about 20. No, this is still better. The set is still better overall. Yep. So all right, so I'm gonna dump the whole set. I'm gonna dump the boots, dump the gauntlets, dump the greaves. And now I'm, yeah. Now I can actually, wear this. I don't need the ebony set anymore. I just hope, seriously hope, that I can, repair it with a regular hammer. If not, I'm gonna be pretty screwed when I go to repair this. All right. Get rid of this Jade impersonator here. Got rid of them. And, all right. I think we're good now, right? Ignore all the stuff I just dropped on the floor. They're praying here. So here's what I look like now. Oh, I'm invisible. Never mind. I want to see what I look like, but, you know, I have to admit, the translucency effects for 2006 are pretty great, right? Look at how good that looks. That looks really good for that time period. Like almost 20 years ago, it looked like that. Damn, that's good. Okay, so we're about to adjourn for the night. I think what we'll do is we'll just get out of this dungeon. Maybe
Not really in a mood to care about it tonight, Cerulean.
And then call it a night. That's another achievement. I think there's only one achievement left in the DLC, so I think we're about to finish the DLC. There's probably like the one final mission. And then we wrap it up, and then we'll get back to the main game and the main plotline of Woogie. These are the shortcut doors out. Cool. They also designed the dungeons well that once you complete the objectives, you can just leave. That's well appreciated. That you don't have to, like, traverse all the way back to the way you came. That would be really annoying. So I'm glad that they have these ways out. Quick exits or whatever you want to call them. Good design. Okay, back to Sheogorath, right? Here we go. And tell him that we did it. It'll probably enable the final quest. We'll save up and finish this up next time.
You honor me, Your Grace.
Sure I do.
How may I?
I don't know how I honor you just by being here, but okay. It's kind of weird. All right, let's see what he has to say.
Always a pleasure.
Oh, let me turn off this light. Too bright. Go back to the ring of mind and body. Mind and body's good.
Time is an artificial construct.
I don't believe that.
An arbitrary system based on the idea that events occur in a linear direction at all times. Always forward, never back. Is the concept of time correct? Is time relevant?
He sounds way too coherent and intelligent right now.
One way or another, I fear that our time has run out, as I feared it would. Our plan has failed. The Grey March is upon us, and I must go. I thought we had more time. I thought we had a chance. My plan has failed, and we were so close.
What happens now?
What happens is what always has happened. What always will happen. I crumble. I fade. The realm dies. And you with it. Flee while you can, mortal. When we next meet, I will not know you, and I will slay you.
But we didn't fail. Klein Balls Deep. What a great name. That is super chases. Does that mean you have 1,000 gamer point achievements? We're close, actually. We're actually very close, right?
Hey, Grizzly.
Look. The only things left to do are the main quest, main quest, main quest. 3 main quest achievements left. You can't. This one is a glitch. This one you can't do. For some reason, I completed the entire Mages Guild, and you couldn't get Master Wizard Wank. Wank. Wow, that's a faux pas there. I couldn't reach Master Wizard rank. For some reason, it never was achieved. I don't know what I missed, or if there was a different way to do the quest, but I missed this achievement somehow. And then here you go. Reach the Duke of Mania and stop the Grey March. So you can't do Duke of Mania because that's the other choice to do in the DLC. So this one's not attainable. And this is the last achievement in the DLC. So we got this one you can't do, this one's locked, and then 3, yeah. So we're gonna have just under 1,000 points for Oblivion by the time we're done. Yep. Okay, but we haven't failed.
Optimism! How adorable! I love it! Even at the end, you make me laugh. I'm lying. That wasn't funny at all. No matter. Soon you and everyone else will be dead, and I will be left a mad god, ruler of a dead realm again.
What can I do?
I had intended to give you my staff, the symbol of my office. Life is gone from it, as it goes from me. It is now dead wood, a useless twig. With the staff, there was hope. Now, hope is dead.
Very depressing.
I am dead.
Dead?
The realm is dead! Sheogorath is dead!
Cowering.
All shall crumble before Jiggleman!
Oh yeah, always a pleasure. And I should save. Klein did another super chase, says you could have saved to do both paths. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't look ahead and I don't know about that. So I had no idea, you know, that was gonna happen. I'm sure I could have gone back and did like both Duke choices or whatever, but at the same time, I'm not a crazy achievement hunter or whatever. I don't need to get every single point out of every game. So it's not a huge deal to me that we're not gonna get every DLC point. Okay. Jinx, thank you for another $1 tip. And the answer to your question is yes. And I think you know how to reach me. So, cool. Thank you for the tip. All right. What's gonna happen here? He vanished. Shigarath vanished before we could complete the plan to stop the forces of order. Perhaps Haskell knows what steps we can take. Let's at least get this final quest unlocked, and then we'll save and continue this Tuesday night and finish it.
He is gone, but hope is not lost. We have a rare opportunity here, but I hesitate to do what must be done.
Okay.
If the Throne of Madness remains empty when Jigalag storms the palace, he will prevail. But there is a chance that the throne may not be empty.
Why do you care? What do you mean? Say, what do you mean?
You will sit on the throne. It has always been Sheogorath's intent for you to be the new Mad God.
But I'm not a Daedric Prince.
True, but perhaps you can hold the throne, provided that you possess the proper symbol of office, namely the Staff of Sheogorath.
What must I do?
Unfortunately, when Sheogorath faded, the power of the staff faded with him. It must now be remade.
Oh, come on.
The staff is the symbol of power in this realm. He who rightfully holds the staff may hold the throne of
There's going to be another, like, gathering
However,
quest, isn't there?
The secrets of its construction are lost.
Oh, no. Lost? You said that there was still hope.
That which is lost can be found again. There is one being in the Shivering Isles who may be able to assist you in the construction of a new star. The ruins of Knife Point Hollow once served as a great library. There you will find a door. Behind that door, you will find the answer you seek. Although I hesitate to guide you towards this path, the secrets of the past will surely aid Jigalag, but I fear that we have no other choice. Be mindful of what you find there. The library is a thing of order, and it will still serve that end. Take this crystal. It contains
a special
the power
crystal.
To open a sealed door. Inside, you will find the final remnants of the library.
Oh, yes. How nice. All right, well.
If only we could speak more often.
Let's see here. What are they calling this quest? The Helpless Army. No, that's the one I completed, excuse me. Symbols of Office. Before I can claim the Throne of Madness and stop the forces of order, I must remake the Staff of Sheogorath. Haskell advised me to seek out a remnant of the Great Library of Jigalag in Knife Point Hollow. Did we find a Knife Point Hollow? No. We got close. We went to Dunroot Burrow. But it looks like it's on the other side of a mountain range, so maybe I would have to actually leave, just walk. Not sure. It doesn't look like there's an easy way to get there. So, all right, well, we got pretty far. Like, literally, there's this and I guess the end of the DLC left because we've done every other achievement in the DLC. So this is where we're going to adjourn for tonight, everyone. Good progress. Nearly 500 saves in this playthrough. Although, how much you want to bet? No exaggeration. Like 400 saves are from lockpicking. They probably were before I got the skeleton key, right? But anyway, good stuff. Good progress tonight. I already have another stream of Oblivion set for Tuesday night. Excuse me, Tuesday night. So we can wrap up this DLC, even though we didn't finish it tonight. We should have ample time to hopefully finish it up Tuesday night, and then move back into the main game and to the end game and finale of its story. But pretty good, right? Omar says the dude imploding on himself 4 minutes ago was the peak of the stream. Yeah, I mean, literally the whole stream was go to this dungeon, run through the dungeon, hit buttons, get to the end, grab items, get to the dungeon, run through the dungeon. Yeah, I mean, literally the whole stream was go to this dungeon, run through the dungeon, hit buttons, get to the end, grab items, get to the dungeon, do this in the dungeon. Boring. It wasn't really anything unique. That's what I mean. When people told me this DLC was special, I was like, oh, you're gonna be all cool new stuff. It's like, all right, the plot's kind of unique, but it's literally a bunch of collection quests and dungeon boring grinding, and it's actually harder and worse than the dungeons in the main game because it's meant to be essentially post-game content. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. I didn't know that this DLC was actually supposed to be played after the main story, so I didn't realize it was going to be that much more of a grind. But at the very least, we're at the end.
It's not
right?
a grind.
Next time, we're going to finish this up. We get back to the main story. We finish that up and, you know, get a grand finale to our Oblivion playthrough that's now been going on for almost 6 months, if you can believe it. So, all right, guys, thank you. And again, to everyone here tonight who supported and engaged in any way, whether you liked the stream, you talked with me, you supported above and beyond another way, I thank you all so very much. I really enjoy these chill streams we have, and looking forward to seeing the DLC conclude on Tuesday, all right? And all those people watching on the restream, if you're still there, thanks for watching. Just add another 1,000 viewers to my viewer count, right? Yeah, right. But anyway, it's all good, and I hope that you all had a good night, and I hope to see you soon.
Just go away.
Return for Oblivion. Okay, we're done recording for the on-demand viewers on YouTube, my friends. But as of tonight, this is the end of my stream. Thank you for chilling. So what's tomorrow? Tomorrow, totally different lineup than today. Tomorrow we've got my podcast in the morning, of course, 10:45 a.m. Pacific time. Then we've got Zelda Tears of the Kingdom continuing on around 12:45 p.m. Pacific time, which will be the first actual open world exploration where the game just lets you do whatever you want. We're 7 hours in and we've finally hit that point. So it'll actually be getting into the meat of the game tomorrow for the first time. Hope you'll join me for that. And tomorrow night is Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster continuing on the late stream. That'll be neat because, you know, as you know, I love the classic Final Fantasies. We're at a pretty good point in the game right now. And I'm looking forward to chilling with all of you with that tomorrow night. I hope you'll show up and relax with some classic Final Fantasy vibes on tomorrow's late stream. All right? And again, guys, seriously, 8 freaking streams in a row where we have hit my support goals, which is amazing. We haven't done that in years. And on top of that, like earlier today, we hit the goals without Jinx at all, which is nice because, you know, Jinx absolutely has been a major reason why we're hitting these goals, but he actually didn't have to earlier today. So thank you all. This is great. Thank you so much. You know, 8 straight streams is amazing. If it all ends tomorrow, it's not a big deal, but I want to say thank you. It's been an exceptionally supportive week this week. I really am appreciative of all of you guys helping out as way as you have, okay? Everyone, please have a good night. And I hope to see you tomorrow for the podcast and for Zelda. All right, thank you all. Have a good evening. And actually, you know what? I'll turn this off for now. And swap over to my my daily wrap layout here for tonight.
Can't wait to wait fucking 2 hours.
Getting rid of all this stuff, right? Get rid of the Oblivion borders. Let's swap over. Whoop. This out of here. Get these out of here. And go full screen. See, and I will say this too. I have no idea if Craig is still restreaming here now. But I will say
that. Oh, good.
All right?
Cute.
For anyone who is watching tonight, where was the drama tonight? Trolls coming in the chat. We dealt with them easily. No big deal, right? That's how it is here. This is a normal stream for me. This is not like going above and beyond crazy or anything. It was a normal stream. It's chill. The vibes. There's no drama. There's no nonsense on these streams. It's just me having a good time with my audience, relaxing and chilling. Where was the drama? People told me, oh, over on Craig's stream, there was like 1,000 people and they were all your trolls shitting on you and everything. Yeah, that's where the drama is. The drama is never in my content. You know, it's not. It's all these people, this white noise from outside of my stream and my content, creating this drama. It's never me doing it. But yet they create this atmosphere of just toxic shit that I want nothing to do with. All I want to do is be here every day, all right? I just want to relax with you guys and have a good time. That's it. That's all I want to do on my content. That is literally it. I don't want all the drama. That's why I don't care about the invite them, you know, buy into that to get past level 1. No. I like being here. I like having an audience of a few hundred people. I can talk with them. We can have a nice, relaxing time. We can enjoy a stream together. We can enjoy a game. I like that. I don't want to waste time on these people, these toxic people. I mean, would I be more well-known, maybe even more popular if I bought into that?
Half the fucking time I hear you spend time on anything. It's all wasted time.
Content. I'd rather have nice,
I'm
chill
so
streams with
fucking
a smaller
tired
audience,
of the phrase
having a
wasted
good time, right?
Time. How about it's time for you to shut the fuck up, man?
15 years ago on the internet, I wasn't trying to become some giant internet celebrity and hyping up drama and nonsense. I like games, man. I just want to chill with people, have games, have real conversations, you know? That's what my content is like. Not the nonsense that these idiots try to interject into it. There was no nonsense tonight. There was no horrible conversations, no drama, no insults, nothing, right? You notice that. None of that existed. But that's what they want to act. Oh, every stream Phil does is full of this toxic shit. It's almost never has that shit in it. It's a rarity that would happen.
How about you don't cock tease a fucker and he won't fucking talk about you on his stream?
You'll have to nitpick to find a moment where I even bring up bullshit, you know? But of course, that's the misrepresentation on the internet about me. What are you gonna do? People are gonna do it no matter what. I'm happy to just sit here, all right? I just want to sit here and say, thanks to those who don't like drama. Thanks to those who are here to just relax and have a good time, okay? Luca, now you're trying to start drama. He said he wants you right now. He wants you on right now. He's stating what you included in emails is untrue. And what are you even talking about? What? No, I'm not going on anyone's show. What? No. How about this? Okay, ready? No. Hold on, let me think about it for a second. Maybe there's a situation where no. Fuck you. No. I want nothing to do with any of it. I've said it 5 zillion fucking times. No. I want nothing to do with it. I'm done with it. I have moved past it. It is nonsense. I am not involving myself in bullshit ever again. I learned my lesson, trust me. I really learned my goddamn lesson the hard way. As hard as you can possibly learn it, I learned my lesson. All right? I'm done with that bullshit. All right? Had a good stream. Thank you to everyone who was here. It's time for me to adjourn that stream. It's time for me to do my daily wrap and get ready for a nice night with my wife. All right? Thank you all. It's good stuff, all right? Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate it. And I hope that you will all have a good evening. I hope that I will see you all tomorrow for the podcast and I'm off screen. The podcast and Zelda. All right. Please have a good evening. And I'll see you all in the morning. Thank you very much and have a good one. Peace out. Good night, everybody.
Greg's dumbass needs to learn how to stop feeding into it too. I don't want to fucking boot up and talk about Craig. Twitter should have stopped existing months ago. never heard this with headphones on. It just sound even more Pride Monthy.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. I'm DSP, and happy Mother's Day. That is right. Today is Sunday, the 14th of May, 2023. It is Mother's Day.
Did he not do a cold open today? His cold
happy
opens
Mom's
are so
Day to all the moms
weird.
out there. And for those of you who
Did you call her?
have a mom who's still around, I strongly recommend you do something with them today, or talk to them, or just call and say hi. Send them an email, send them a text, do something. You may not realize it, but that little bit of contact, that just, hey, what's up, Mom? Hope you're having a good day, might actually be a game changer. It does mean something. It really does. Personally, I will be calling my mother today and having a nice conversation with her about how everything's going. I usually call my parents once a week anyway, but in this case, I actually scheduled my call for today on Mother's Day so that we can talk a little bit about the holiday and see what's going on.
Because most people would say you shouldn't need an excuse like a holiday.
You don't live anywhere near your parents like me.
Parents.
They're gonna appreciate it. You know, your mother will appreciate the call.
I didn't hear this, so
that's
what I was gonna say.
I guess
then he immediately felt it.
I don't know, but anyway.
At least he thought of it in advance.
Traditionally on Mother's Day, there's many things that happen. Sometimes you take your mom out to dinner. Sometimes you get her something. I used to actually take my mom out to dinner on Mother's Day. Usually we would go to one of her favorite restaurants. One of which was a seafood restaurant.
I saw what you sent me, Carl.
Down on the waterfront. And they would have, she loved fried clams, so we would actually go and get these delicious fried clams from the place. Usually I would get shrimp. I like shrimp, but she would get fried clams and some fries and stuff like that. Many years ago, the good thing is Mother's Day is, spring. And usually the weather is warmer, and it was nice to go down at this waterfront seafood restaurant in Connecticut. So, but of course, I haven't lived there in about a decade. So how's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. I hope I find your weekend well. We have a few things to talk about today. Nothing too major. A few updates and a few kind of housekeeping things. Today's show will be a lot of kind of chill, laid-back attitude and probably some Q&A. I just want to say this up front. Today I'm not in the best of moods, and it has nothing to do with you guys again. Yes, it's personal stuff behind the scenes. It's bothering me. Puts me on edge. It makes me feel sad, upset. But it's life. When you get older, particularly, it's stuff that you got to deal with. And it might be on the back of my mind today. My goal is to have a fun, full day of streaming with all of you. Double gameplay stream day today. Help take my mind off of the stuff that's happening here in real life, so that I can, have a good time with my audience. And I think for a lot of people, that's
the latest version, I believe.
Purpose that these
I have
serve,
not dropped a single frame.
It takes your mind off of
the stream
all the nonsense,
for the Cinco de Mayo stream,
all the stuff of real life that bothers you,
where I was
and allows you to just sit here for maybe 5 minutes,
and
maybe a couple hours,
maybe I dropped a frame here or there. See, look at me with that DSP kind of flip-flop logic, but you know what I mean. Dropping hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of frames.
It's a great time. I really enjoy this experience I have with you guys every day.
Probably dropped like 80 frames on the stream yesterday at a random interval, but I have hovered consistently at 6,000.
It goes both ways.
So it looks like it was my proximity or lack thereof to my modem.
As you know,
that was
we
the
have a
cause of my
drama
drops in
policy on the
connections
chat.
for the past couple
what that means is that we're not going to have people coming in here trying to derail the stream with outside drama from, completely unrelated to what we're doing on the streams. Not to say that you can't talk about other stuff, but if you try to derail, you try to bring up nonsensical drama, crap, it's just not going to be entertained on my content. And understand, it's always been against the rules. And if you get moderated,
I'm in a mellow mode right now.
How much I can do about that? Gotta pay attention and don't bring up nonsense, okay? Especially today. Like I said already, I'm kind of in a not a great mindset. So coming into this, I'm trying to basically, readjust myself and have a good time with you guys, right? All right. So anyway, today is Sunday. We're halfway through the streaming week, right? We're now heading into the second half of my streaming week this week, and at this point now, I've played Zelda Tears of the Kingdom 7 hours.
Oh boy!
I really like the game, but already, 7 hours in, I'm starting to see some shortcomings of the game. That definitely, I think, are going to be things that maybe are going to hold back this playthrough. All right, and I know some people already. Oh, he's being nitpicky. Well, listen, it's kind of my job to be nitpicky, is it not? I'm someone who plays games and objectively reviews them from a standpoint of kind of almost an outsider, right? I'm not someone in the industry who depends on kissing butt or on slamming games either. I can be honest about what I feel about a game. And so far with Zelda, it's mostly positive. But I can tell you right now, from playing 7 hours in, I'm already starting to see some issues. So issue number one, all right, this game, if you're not aware, has 3 different worlds. Yes, there is a sky world of a bunch of floating islands, and I guess you could compare that either to like Skyward Sword or to like Wind Waker, where it feels like you're kind of in a sea and there's all this stuff you can travel between and explore. Then you've got your standard overworld, which is the planet level, which is kind of like Breath of the Wild. In fact, it is Breath of the Wild, right? It literally, I think, is the same map, just re-explored and redesigned. But now, we found out last night, there's a third world under the surface of the planet.
If you did any kind of fucking gameplay
Some people are
research,
comparing this to, say, the dark world of other Zelda games. And people have told me, oh yeah, by the way, that map is exactly the same size as the standard overworld map. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Breath of the Wild,
that explains why they priced it at $70.
I really enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. But I particularly remember, by the time that we were getting near to like the last third of the game, that it definitely felt like the game was dragging on, that it was taking too long, and that you were just like, you know, wrap it up, right? Just wrap it up. There's so much to do. I wish we could just get to the end of this game. It really felt like it was taking too long. If you take a look at my Breath of the Wild playthrough, 194 parts, and this was a time frame when my parts were between 20 and 30 minutes long.
Parts are actually,
so you're talking the playthrough was between 80 to 100 hours long.
From Derek.
Okay, I remember when I started playing Breath of the Wild, everyone liked it on stream, and by the time we got to about halfway through the game,
his OBS was failing constantly.
Everyone was actually getting frustrated, saying, "Man, this game is too long." And I think it is a major thing that we need to start talking about in the modern era: game length. Okay.
Oh my god.
At what point is a game too short, too long, or hitting that perfect happy medium spot in the middle? Because I do feel like
why did we price it at $70? I guess
don't really consider this.
But at the same time,
for example,
don't price
some game developers just want games to be so long, but is everything you're doing in the game meaningful? Right? I would much rather play
don't fucking juggle
a 20 to 25 hour streamlined, linear, awesome experience than an 80-hour open world bloated experience where like 50 hours of gameplay are pretty unnecessary and bent on backtracking and open world exploring. Not to say that those games don't have a place, but that's kind of my personal preference. Like, I think I would prefer a game that just has like, oh my god, every moment I'm playing it, it's great story, great graphics, really cool exploration, really awesome, you know, hitting it on every octane, high cylinder enjoyment, rather than, all right, so this is a downtime where we're going to be running through the open world for 4 hours and we might find 3 useful things today. You know what I mean? When I take a look at a game like Tears of the Kingdom, and you say, well, Nintendo's charging $70 for it, okay? You immediately say, well, why do they think that they can justify $10 more? Well, based on what I'm seeing now...
Well, based on... Okay, so his logic... I don't know what he's going to say to this. But his logic up until now has been they can charge $70 because they can and because they're Nintendo, which is true. That actually is true, but I guess you can say the content justifies the up hike in price. It's also justified by the precedence and trend of raising the price of games to $70, and also because it would probably be stupid financially for them to be prevented from raising the price of their games when their competition is doing so, just because it's always been like that for them to price their games at $60. So they're not able to raise the price on their games anymore because they've just always been $60. I mean, from a business perspective, that's kind of stupid. And they're not even raising the prices on all of their first-party releases. We already know Pikmin will be $60. But let's see him try to rewrite stuff he's already said. Hey, Zylan's red.
Now 7 hours in, I think I know where they're
I saw what you said yesterday, Eddie.
They're basically saying it's Breath of the Wild plus up here plus down here You know, we've essentially
I don't know, that
almost doubled
justifies the $10 to
the
me.
content from the first game.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, does that justify the $10? Yes or no? Probably if all those areas are substantial and meaningful. I've only seen a couple of people play the game, but from what I've seen, the deaths in the skies seem pretty substantial. If we're talking about content to justify a random $10 increase in price, which probably isn't even relative. Like, I don't think they charged an extra $10 because they let you explore the sky in the devs. I think that's more related to the industry in general. But if we're gonna use the logic that the content, the increase in content justifies the rise in price, whatever the fuck. It's fucking midnight, man. If we're gonna go with that, fuck, I'm derailing. I'm losing my point already. I'm losing my train of thought. Anyway, he's gonna say it doesn't count because the content isn't meaningful to begin with or some shit.
But it begs the question. Do modern gamers want an experience that's 100+ hours long? Is it going to hold interest, and is it going to actually be interesting that entire time, or are you going to get bored, right?
Nothing holds this motherfucker's
It'll be interesting, because the thing is, with a game like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, there's no achievements. There's no trophies. So there's no real way to gauge how many...
Curious that we're making this point when we just, on Elder Scrolls, talked about how we don't care about achievements, honestly.
People who buy the game will actually finish it. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at a lot of statistics for video games, modern video games, it's interesting because if you look at games that, for example, are on Game Pass, a tremendous amount of people play them because they're under Game Pass and you don't have to pay
I think 25% of people,
how many people actually finished
got the secret ending achievement for Elden
Now, with a game
Ring,
like Tears of the Kingdom,
which is
we've been waiting 6 years
honestly
for a new Zelda
higher
game.
than I expected.
The hype is real. Ridiculous amounts of people ran out and bought it, and let's face it, you also have the Nintendo fanboy force that literally buys every piece of Nintendo possible.
I didn't buy it,
Bought like
motherfucker.
12 copies of the game. I hate to say it, but it's just true.
Suck my
I want
cock.
the collector's edition, I want the standard edition, but I also got the digital
Piece of
edition.
shit.
Oh, I have a Switch. My brother has an OLED Switch. My mom has a Switch, and everyone needs it. You know. So I guarantee you, this game.
Where's
is
the
sold
dingus
like
stream of
crazy,
Tears of the Kingdom?
right?
Because I don't see it.
But I guess the question again is, out of all those copies being bought, if the game is going to be
How
over
many people are
100
actually going to
hours long
finish
with this
it?
insane
Well,
amount of
if we're
content they
talking
add
about
into it,
Nintendo
how many people
fanboys,
actually play
their
it to
next
completion?
release is going to
Or
be
how
in
many
fucking
people pick it
July,
up,
so
play
I
it
feel
for
like they
20
have all
hours,
the
be like,
time in
"All
the
right, it's an
world to
open
get
world
those
Zelda, I
80
get it,"
hours
and
they've
then
been
never
looking
play it
for.
again, right? Now, here's the thing. I approach things from a different perspective. I approach it from the perspective of a content creator.
I pick and
alright?
choose in my battles.
Not
I
only am I
read.
playing a game for myself,
there
I'm
are
playing
a
it for
couple
you.
Nintendo
I'm
releases
not
that
just
even they
sitting here
can't
and
fool me
100 hours of
with.
my personal time. This is me actually putting out a lengthy
Like, I didn't
playthrough
touch
for
level
you and
or
trying to
that
entertain an
Ring
audience
Fit
of
stuff.
hundreds, and then on
I
demand
didn't buy
an
ARMS,
audience of
actually.
thousands, right? And it can be tricky because I feel like with a game like the
Oh,
Tears of
and
the
modern
Kingdom,
Pokemon,
if
I have
we
not
approach
touched a
this from an
single
interactive
modern fucking
content creator's
Pokemon since
perspective,
Ultra Sun and
if
Ultra
we
Moon.
play this game and it's the game that we talk,
6
we
years?
chill, we have fun
I care about the
conversation,
spin-offs now.
while entire 2 to 3 hour streams, all I'm doing
And
is
the
exploring the
spin-offs,
open
like,
world, doing some
unite.
temple,
Like, even there are
opening
even
up
some
map,
spin-offs that even I won't
portion,
touch.
maybe do a dungeon here or there, whatever it may be, as long as we are interacting.
But I'm trying to broaden
right?
my
I think it
horizons
can work,
a little bit.
But
Like, I'm
even
getting
then,
into Zelda.
If you take a
'cause
look at
I
a game
wasn't
like,
into
for
it at
example,
all. And same for
Oblivion,
Metroid.
that's exactly the take that we've had with Oblivion, and I've been playing
Oh,
Oblivion
yeah, the Nintendo Switch
since
Sports. I didn't
December.
pick up. Anything
Currently,
with like
as of
Switch
today,
Sports or
when we resume Oblivion on the live stream,
exercising
I'm around 72
or weird
hours into
gimmicks
Oblivion,
or
and I can tell you
anything
right
with
now,
the
it feels
Miis,
like it's
I don't
time to
pick
end
up.
the playthrough. It feels like it's exhausting at this point. Like, dude, we've been playing Oblivion for a really long time, and I feel like it's time to move on from it. And we're
And don't let that
72
imply
hours
that
in.
I'm a
But
fat
did you hear what
fuck
I just
either,
said?
'cause I'm
72
like
hours.
a fucking twig.
Breath of the Wild was
It's a big
80
process.
plus hours. Tears of the Kingdom reportedly is over 100 hours. You understand?
No, I don't.
So, again, I
Why
have
we
to
gotta
say
smile?
this, length of game maybe has to start to be really explored by these game developers. Right? It's
Nintendo
not all
fanboys who
about
only buy
possibly
Nintendo
making the
games
longest
don't
possible
have
game with the
many
most amount of
releases
content.
to
It's
be
about
worried about
meaningful
right now.
content. and how much content in this game will be meaningful. I have to ask the question. You know, I haven't gotten
And
far
even
enough into the game to make a judgment
even
yet.
the normal
but
people,
the question
maybe
is
have
now
all
resonating in my
consoles.
mind,
I mean,
especially when
they're not buying every game.
keep in
like
mind
you
this is
are.
not the only game
I
that
say
I'm currently
buy, but
playing.
this guy relies on
I'm
Game
playing
Pass.
Star Wars, which we're about to play today. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm still doing my second run of Elden Ring, which has been superb, and I cannot wait to play more of that. We've got chill late night streams of Final Fantasy V and Oblivion. And coming
They
up in
actually
June, we've
remade
got
Metroid
really
Prime,
big high-profile games.
remastered it.
that
Did you
I'm
not
excited to
know,
play.
or is that like an example?
So how am I supposed to be playing a 100 to 120 hour long game?
You can just skip
right?
it, man.
Even let's
Could've
be
told
honest
you that
here,
shit
a
was gonna
normal
be 100
person
hours.
who doesn't do what I do for a living.
You didn't even
who
beat
has a
Skyward
job,
Sword. That was what,
family,
30 hours?
You're in school.
Oh, I'm so
You have
bored, you guys.
responsibility. You can't
It's
just
time
sit
to
around
drop
playing
it.
games all day. Realistically, how many hours a day does a normal person have to play games? A couple hours, maybe? You expect me to play this game for 3 months? And I'm still gonna have interest in it? You know what I mean? Like,
Why
I
even
don't
make
know.
games
At
if
this
we're gonna
point,
be
I'm
have
starting to actually
logic like
strongly
this?
question
All right, I guess we can't make
game
games
developers'
anymore because no
logic
one's gonna
when
have
it
time
comes
for
to
them.
the way that they're developing
Let's make
games.
like 10-minute games that you won't want to play either
I don't
because they're
need
indie
a
games.
ginormous open game with a bunch of padding. I just want a game that's streamlined and good. And you know what? I hate to say it. That's what Zelda games used to be. If you take a look at Zelda games, right? Yes, they always had some optional hidden content, but for the most part, they actually were some pretty nice experiences where everything was kind of curated and created just for an awesome hands-on experience. Every time you were in a dungeon, there's stuff just for that dungeon or whatever. Now that they've made these games giant and bloated,
Yeah, they made like 10 of those, and then by the time of Skyward Sword, I'm pretty sure even you didn't like them. So that's why they changed it up. Because we had like 10 games of that shit, and we're like, okay, it's time to switch it up. That's why Breath of the Wild was lauded as one of the greatest games of all time, and why pretty much every other AAA game that comes out these days wants to be Breath of the Wild, because it changed the industry on its head just that much. That's why Tears of the Kingdom comes out and still gets 10 out of 10s.
is it really gonna have that same feeling? And is it gonna, or is it gonna be, oh,
This is him with 95%. 95%. He said he was 95% of the time he spent with this game. 95% of it has been enjoyment. And he made the money. And he made the money too. So these are his thoughts on the game. 95% enjoyment.
120 hours, but out of the 120 hours, only like 30 hours was fun. But you spent 5 months playing the game, right? Now,
Wrong.
I do have another thing to ask, all right?
Oh my god.
Because already I'm 7 hours in and I've now completed 8 dungeons. I take that back, temples. They're not called dungeons, they're called temples.
Yeah, you
it's
better
the same
not.
premise as the temples in Breath of the Wild. They're mini
They're called shrines.
challenge areas where
They're
you're
called
gonna
shrines.
use your game's like puzzle-solving abilities, the new ones. You
Do
know,
not
the
call that
combining,
shit temples or
the,
dungeons, because Zelda fans will be on your ass.
Rewind ability, the rise ability, where you float and go through things.
A
You're gonna
rise
use
chicken.
these to solve puzzles, all right? And you get rewards. Now, if you just beat the shrine, you get an upgrade item. And for every 4, I believe you either get a new heart or you get more stamina. So that's good. But there's optional items in the game, or in the dungeons. Okay? And here's where I'm starting to actually get legit upset, and I'm only 7 hours in. So every optional dungeon, or every temple that I've done, I've tried to do the optional objective. And the optional objective arguably is much harder than the standard objective. You have to figure out like an extra way to do the puzzle solving, the traversal, whatever it is, to get this extra chest. Okay? I've opened up 8 of these. Literally, every single one is a complete waste of your time. There has not been a single optional chest I've opened that had anything of use. Last night, the last thing I did on my Zelda stream was an optional temple. We figured out how to complete it, and then there was the optional chest. So, okay, let's figure this out. So we figure it out. It took a while. It was tough. It was actually quite challenging because you had to make a thing that was in the way have to be suspended in the air, and then you had to hit a ball with a timing and had to hit a target. So we figure all this out. It took like 15 minutes to figure out the second half. We go and we open the chest. It's an elixir. It's a stamina elixir. The same stamina elixir you can easily make yourself at any cooking area in the entire game by just tossing a couple common components together. Why did I have to solve an optional puzzle that was difficult to get a standard item that you can get in the game in 2 seconds? It doesn't make any sense. So I was actually talking to my wife about this last night, and we came to the determination what it sounds like happened was, much as what happens in these games, you have different groups working on the game, correct? So you had one group who was tasked with designing the puzzles in the temples, right? So all their task was make a challenging puzzle. So they did that, right? They say, here's a puzzle. The standard one is here. The extra one is here. It's an increase in difficulty, estimated 20 minutes to complete or whatever, right? But then you had another team, and that team is working on item placement. Oh, whereabouts in the game should certain items be for plot advancement? You don't want to put an item too early in the game because it would be overpowered.
What the fuck does he want the game to give him money?
Is early on
which
in the
is
game.
weird because he's making money.
The item placement team,
and this is his
not
attitude.
looking at the difficulty
I guess
level
you're
of the
right. What does he
temple,
want?
Just arbitrarily places an item in the temple, not even realizing you had to solve a pretty difficult puzzle to get that reward. So you worked your ass off to solve it to get a piece of junk, right? That is a disconnect in game development. It should have been the teams are working together and saying, wow, the actual difficulty level of the challenge equates in a better reward. If I'm going to work my ass off to solve this tough puzzle, give me something good. Give me a unique weapon. Give me a component I can combine for a unique item I've never had before. Don't give me something I already have in my inventory, right? It's just stupid.
How are they supposed to know what you have in your inventory?
And it pissed me off last night. It really did. I was like, why am I wasting my time? And to the point where I actually said to the cat last night, I might not even waste time anymore. Since this game already is going to be so long, maybe what I'll do is I'll go into the temple, I'll just go right to the exit, get my upgrade for either health or stamina, and get the hell out of there. Like, is it even worth it to waste time on these optional objectives if 8 in a row have been crapped? 8 in a row have been crapped. It wasn't like, oh, one of them was bad and one of them was good. It was, 8 in a row
I better not
are
see
terrible.
His bitch ass complain about
So maybe I should just do that.
anything
Streamline my own
if this is
playthrough,
going to be his
right?
attitude.
Find all the temples, but only get the necessary upgrades that are good, and don't bother with the other crap. But anyway, these are early observations.
the
I've had.
item
Keep in mind, I'm
placement
only
team.
7 hours into Tears of the Kingdom.
The item
out of a game that's
placement
over 100
team.
hours long. So perhaps as we continue on,
The division responsible for placing
we'll see,
items in the game.
How it pans out, if it gets any better, if it gets any worse. I would hope it gets better. But it is pretty good. As an initial offering, I am liking the game. I'm enjoying it. But I am worried. And the reason I'm worried is this game, especially with its open world atmosphere, does seem like it's going to tend to be what we would consider a chill stream game. Meaning, yes, there will absolutely be streams set in temples that are going to be serious story progression, but at the same time, there's going to be entire streams where all we're doing is exploring this ginormous open world, and that's going to lend a lot more to conversation and a lot more to interaction to keep us busy and keep us occupied while I'm just running around exploring. And that really seems more like a late night chill stream, correct? Right? So the question is, do I treat Zelda like a late night chill stream? For now, I want to keep it in the daytime rotation. We're definitely playing it on Monday as the main stream. But then, after that, like for example, we're coming near the end of Oblivion. It looks like we may beat the Shivering Isles DLC tonight, and then probably a couple more streams of just story progression, and we're probably going to beat the whole game. I mean, it's been an awesome playthrough, but at this point, we've done all the meaningful content in it, correct? So,
I don't know.
What
Did you
do
do all
we
the
do once
content?
we beat Oblivion? Maybe then Zelda becomes a late night chill stream, right?
So
And
you
that
can
could be a
spend
way
even more
where Zelda
time
could be
trying
night
to
stream,
fucking beat it?
Star Wars and Elden Ring are daytime stream. That allows me to make massive progression in Star Wars and Elden Ring by the end of the month, maybe even beat one of them, right? And then Zelda just continues on. As a chill stream for a very long time, because if it's 100 hours, this could take months to beat. You see, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm
It's
not
the
committing to
game
that, I'm
of
just saying
the
that's
now.
My initial thoughts with how the game is panning out already.
It's
okay?
the game of the now. I think it's like fine if you spend a couple of fucking months on it. What else
But
are
again,
you waiting for?
This is all up in the air. We're going to
Amnesia?
talk about the schedule in
Oh,
just a
Street
moment.
Fighter, right? My bad.
You guys are going to see you're going to have some
Diablo?
control
You're not
over
gonna
the
play
schedule
that.
for the rest of the week, which I'm sure you're going to like. Everyone likes to have, a
Final
voice, right, a
Fantasy?
say.
Ah, yes,
A
I can't wait to
gaming
hear about.
democracy here on
Oh,
DSP
yes,
Games.
Final Fantasy
So,
is like
we'll
140
see.
hours. Yeah.
Anyway, those are my initial thoughts. And again, understand something. I like the game. I
Yeah,
actually do like Tears of the
yeah.
Kingdom. I'm enjoying it. Actually,
I'm so
watching the
convinced.
videos, and the videos look great. Like, I'm very pleased with my increasing capture and streaming quality and my new capture device. The game looks really good. Because I remembered my old Breath of the Wild videos, back when I was still streaming
gonna
on
blame the
Twitch.
Wii
They
U
didn't look
for
so
that?
good. They were pixelized, the frame rate was constantly dipping. and I'm watching back these Tears of the Kingdom videos. I'm like, oh, they look really good.
Oh yeah,
I'm
Nintendo really
impressed with
optimized the
quality
game,
I'm getting.
huh?
Like, wow, my setup really has dramatically improved. I'm happy about that, being able to make improvements for you guys. And this year, I hope things are looking better. You know, this is really going to shine next month with games like Street
Yeah, I don't know
Fighter
if
6,
putting
traditionally when I
Zelda
play
for your
fighting
night
games,
stream and expecting to beat it
as you
within
notice,
3
it'll
months
get
is a
very
good idea.
pixelized,
And then you go ahead and only do like 2 fucking
I think
sessions
this time
a week.
around,
Why
it's
aren't we
just gonna
beating
look
it?
way better. And I'm very pleased with these improvements that the last 6+ months, right? The new setup, the new color scheme, you know what I'm saying? Everything good. So I'm excited. Now, before we get to the schedule, I'll just say this. Thank you all. There's already people who are super chatting. We got a couple tips today. Thank you so much for that. Remember, I do shout outs in the last portion of the podcast. Sorry that I'm not doing immediate shout outs, but I do like to get through my topics that I feel I want to talk about before we get to a certain portion of the stream. So thank you to everyone who is contributing. I promise I will get to all of your contributions in a timely manner. However, let's get through the topics, the news and everything first. Fair enough? Okay, so what I'd like to do is go through the schedule for the rest of the week and into next week so you guys know what to expect. Today, the first session here, okay, is going to be the continuation of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And we have some really good news. I'm finally leaving the first planet. We are 14 hours into this game. Actually, I take that back. It's about 15 hours because 2 of the videos were like 90 minutes long. And
I had some shit to say about this.
After 15 hours, we're finally leaving the first area. You might be like, what? Yeah, the pacing is pretty bad. The first world is huge and has so much to do in it, and a lot of it you can't even do yet until you have other abilities. And now we're finally able to leave and go do other stuff, which I'm excited for, but man, it took its sweet time. So today we're finally going to see a new environment, hopefully new enemies, new challenges, and I'm excited for that, for sure. But I guess we're going to see, will this game continue to have all the issues it's had up to this point? Some people have told me once you leave Kobo, the first planet, that actually the performance improves in the game. I hope so.
Gaslight?
I really do. I hope the game looks better, runs better, and we don't keep having
don't worry, Jay Frosty, we'll
choppiness
get
in the
to that.
graphics, enemies completely vanishing from existence, the game crashing every time I try to put on a new piece of equipment I find in a chest. It would be appreciated if the game would actually act like a solid AAA release and not a wonky mess held together by gum and toothpicks and rubber bands. I guess we'll find out today. And I am excited for it. I have been enjoying the game, and I'm happy to finally jump back into it. And so let's see how it goes. 3 hours of Jedi Survivor today, and we'll see what kind of progress I make. Okay? On tonight's late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific Time, it is the continuation of Oblivion, and as I've said, we are now approaching the end of the Shivering Isles DLC. The Shivering Isles DLC has lasted, what, about 10 hours, I want to say? Let me take a look. So here's the 2 videos there. I'm actually curious how many hours we put into it. Those 2 are definitely okay.
Pounding the peaches with my DVD asshole.
We've been doing it for a couple of weeks at least, right?
Thing is, if there was a streamlined Fire Emblem with auto-moving, auto-attacking, that was a 10-hour AAA experience with cutting-edge graphics, is it worth $70? Sure, it would be DSP's
and we're about 72, 73.
Oh man, you already know I'm totally all over it. It's like I'm all over a
so
raid
I'd say just under 10 hours that we've been in the Shivering Isles DLC.
Rewatching the pre-stream.
You know what's weird?
Or well,
is that some people told me that the Shivering Isles DLC was like, it could be like 30 hours long.
20%.
And I'm like, I don't know what you'd be doing. Because immediately when we showed up, we went to the city. The city has all the NPCs in it. We talked to all the NPCs and got a bunch of quests. We did almost all the quests. Right? I think we have like one leftover quest we can do.
It's Mother's Day on a someday.
And I think it has to do with collecting pearls, which we found like 3 out of 4 or something like that.
Making some Advance Wars progress.
And we've just been doing the story, which is the other thing. Like,
Listen
it's
to
kind
this
of weird.
Motherfucker cry about
really
Zelda.
sold this DLC.
I had a lot to say
Quite
about
frankly, I don't think the DLC's been epic. I think it's been just okay. Kind of more of the same, but it really feels like that. It really felt to me like this was meant to be, you beat the main game. You really enjoyed Oblivion. You're sad to see it go, and then months later,
it's literally the
here's
game
more
of the era,
content.
the game
this
of
didn't
the
feel
now.
to me like a DLC
and we
that
just
you were
want to
meant to
beat
play
it
during the course of the
next
story,
game.
because it seems like it's incredibly difficult,
be a game
which
of
is
the now.
fine. I'm not complaining about the difficulty. I'm saying it just seems like compared to the main game, this was like a huge jump in challenge, and because of that, it hasn't been that entertaining. it's been a lot of grindiness to it, right? A lot of the enemies take 5 million hits to kill and everything. It's like, dude, this is like ridiculous, over the top challenging. And of course tonight, first thing we're doing is combat. We arrived in a town that's now at siege by these monsters, and of course we're gonna have to fight. We'll see how it goes, I guess. But anyway, tonight, Oblivion, 2 hours of fun on the late stream as we look to wrap up Shivering Isles. I don't know if we will, but we only have like 3 story achievements left to fit, you know, in the game. Meaning, probably we're gonna wrap it up. If not, we'll get really close tonight and go from there. But yeah, once that's wrapped up, then yes, we will be going back to Oblivion. We will be focusing on just the story to finish it and wrap up the playthrough so that we can focus on these other games for the rest of the month. Okay? All right. Tomorrow, Monday, we are going to swing back to Zelda for a main stream. 3 hours of Zelda, and now, yes, we are absolutely in the open world. We're going to start hitting
We're in the meat of the game. I want to hear it. I want to hear him say it.
Where it's going to open up a big part of the map of the game, and we'll probably start exploring that portion and do that for a few hours and see how it pans out. Tomorrow night will be the return of Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster to the late stream, which I'm excited for. We're about, from what I understand, we're about halfway into the game. I thought we were like 2/3 in, but from people who played, they're like, nah, you're about halfway in. So we still got a ways to go in this one, but I'm enjoying it. It's chill, retro fun. Hope you'll join me for that. And now, here's the deal. Tuesday is the day that you determine, because right now, Tuesday's mainstream is completely up in the air. I'd be okay playing more Jedi Survivor. I'd be okay playing more Zelda. Or I'd be okay having Elden Ring return to a daytime stream. Okay? At this point, any of those, I feel, are perfectly viable options. So here's what we're going to do. Tomorrow, on the Level 1 podcast, in the morning, we're going to put up a poll. You guys are going to vote for 24 hours on what game you want to see as the main gameplay stream on Tuesday. And whatever wins the poll will be the game that we play at Tuesday's daytime stream. Okay? And then Tuesday night...
No, everything in the game
Oblivion,
has to justify itself,
or
else it doesn't have a reason
to
exist.
the end game of the main game. And that's the streaming week. You know, I'm off on Wednesday. Next week, the main streams will be a focus on the new games. The late streams will be a focus on Final Fantasy and Oblivion and finishing Oblivion. Then we can take one of the daytime streams and start playing it as a night stream, you see? And then we can really start to focus a little more. Now, we do have a special event next week, okay? On Sunday, May 21st, it is DSP's Fight and Feast. That is correct. It is a fighting game extravaganza here on DSP Gaming. All day long, we'll be celebrating the history of Street Fighter. I'll be going down memory lane, and you guys will be voting on the games that I will be playing in the Street Fighter 38th Anniversary Collection. Keep in mind, there's 5 versions of Street Fighter 2, 3 versions of Street Fighter 3, and 3 versions of Street Fighter Alpha. You'll be able to vote on what you want to see. You'll also be able to vote on the characters that I use in said game. Okay? So
they were on the table.
It's going to be a very interactive event. I'm going to be playing those games on the highest difficulty against the AI and seeing if I can do challenge runs and complete them in a timely manner. In addition, there will also be tier maker events where I'm going to be ranking fighting games or the Street Fighter games against each other. Maybe I'll be ranking fighters. It'll be depending on what I can find on tier maker reports. But that should be fun as well. At least 2 tier maker rankings will take place during the course of the day. In addition to that, my wife is going to be making recipes out of the Street Fighter cookbook, and we're going to try several of these during the course of the day.
Did you call her for Mother's Day?
What I'm going to do is read you the recipe, read you all the lore behind it, and actually do a live taste test with you to see how these recipes stack up, if they're really good food or not.
Or was this not one of the 2 days where she works, so she was at home?
If you guys want, and I'm going to ask you as we get closer this weekend, would you like to see a fantasy battle royale? If you
I thought he said we did want to see one like 2
30-man
streams ago.
Fantasy Battle Royale.
Now we got to pull it again.
WWE 2K. It's going to be all fighting game characters. So characters from Street Fighter against characters from Mortal Kombat against characters from Tekken. The 3 fighting game franchises
How about you
that are
poll the
all
chat
getting
to
new
see if we
installments
should call
this
your
year
mom today?
will face off in a fantasy battle royale. It's going to be really fun. I'll do commentary over it. Usually you guys really like this event. It's only if you want it. We don't have to do it. I think we'd have more than enough to do. But if you want to see that as like the big finale of the event, we could do that. Okay? It seems like a lot of people are saying yes, they'd like to see that. In the chat, at least right now. Okay? And I have one other thing to say.
He waited until 7:30 to call her. That's fucked up.
I got something special in store. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I got something special in store for 1 week from today. The fight.
I don't know what this could possibly be.
So 1 week from today, I hope you'll be here. It'll be a fun marathon style event. It'll certainly be exciting, interesting, and different. And this is a way to hype up the release of Street Fighter 6 in just a little, week and a half after that. All right. I hope you guys will get back into the fighting game mentality. You're going to want to see fighting games again here on DSP Gaming. So it's going to be exciting. I hope you guys will be there if you can. If not, of course, the whole thing will be on demand. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to split it up. Any gameplay portions will be here on this channel, including the challenge runs in the fighting games, as well as the Fantasy Battle Royale. However, the tier makers, as well as the food videos, will be over on DSP React. So I'll separate the content, so there's content for both channels for the week. It'll be fun. Okay, so that's coming up on the 21st. Outside of that, the only other thing really going on this month I'm interested in, there is a new game called Lord of the Rings Gollum coming out on the 25th.
That's getting felted.
Dependent on how we're doing, and let's be honest,
need me
with
to tell you
3
that.
major games and 2 minor games I'm already playing, do I realistically think I'm going to be beating tons of
Those
these
are the
games by
games
the end of the
that
month
Frank plays.
and have time for another game before Street Fighter 6 comes out?
No.
Probably not. Much as I would like to say, listen, I love Lord of the Rings. I think Gollum is a great character.
Just be like that to your mother when you waited fucking 8 hours to call her.
I don't see how that's going to work right now when I'm so inundated with other stuff. I guess what we'll do is let's see. Let's see how it goes. Let's play it by ear. And by the end of the month, let's judge. We still got about another week and a half before we even get to that time frame, okay? So let's see what happens, but...
Why does he even want to play a stealth game when he doesn't like them?
We'll go from there, but yeah.
And
I'm not positive or hyped up that I'm going to be able to be playing Gollum as much as I think I would like it, okay? Okay. Okay, so that is the schedule for the rest of the month. Of course, next month is going to be superb with the release of Street Fighter 6, as well as Diablo 4 and many other things going on. But we'll talk about that as we get closer to it. All right? All right, guys. We don't have any real game news today. I was looking into it. I didn't really see any news stories or anything going on today. So really nothing much to talk about there. I think instead what we will do is we'll begin with shout-outs. We'll start answering questions, do a little bit of interaction, Q&A, etc. and get that going. So on the YouTube side of things this morning, our first contribution came in from Matthew,
in the mood for it.
And he says, it was a super chat, by the way. Thank you, Matthew.
Don't worry, I know he's gonna be on some weird shit in a second.
I'm trying to avoid spoilers for Jedi Survivor. I agree the game is good but buggy. I mean, Matthew, I'll be honest with you. I haven't been playing Jedi Survivor that much. Like, this is the first time I'm playing it this week. This might be the only time I play it this week.
Whose fault is that?
Staying away hasn't really stopped you from being spoiled. I'm not really playing it. Today is like the day
you have to show up for my streams, man. Okay. All of them.
But anyway, I hear you, and I wish it wasn't buggy, because overall I think the game is good. And thank you for the super chat. Good to have you here, at least in the morning. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much just brand recognition.
Has done 2 super chats.
Fucking idiots
the first
will
super
see
chat, he says,
Lord
"What's
of the
good, my boy?
Rings and just
Philippine
tune in for that."
Well, it is Mother's Day. It is a Sunday. It is a day full of gaming.
All of the names that Gundam calls him. He has nothing to say about that.
My mind off of stuff in my real life. With a fun stream here today. So hopefully it's a good one. That's what's going on with me today. And then he did a second super chat. He says, "And you're looking pretty good today." That is ridiculous. How dare you compliment my looks? Everyone knows I look like a big, bloated, dead, floating body.
Dent?
Or like a,
I know what he said.
A swollen, like someone stung my face with bees. And it went zoop. Right?
Zap, zoopity, bop. Zoppity zoo.
Face it. I'm getting older. I'm not getting any better. I'm not looking any better. All right? All right. Like, did you ever see one of those zombie movies? And, like a really old zombie walks out and you realize, wow, look at the amount of, makeup or visual effects or CGI, whatever it is, they had to apply to that to make it look like it's a real zombie. They don't have to do that with me. I'm good. I just walk right out. Hey, everyone. Like, ah! Okay. Anyway, so thank you for the super chats there, JK20. I appreciate it. All right, let's get to tips, all right? So first of all, I actually received a tip earlier this morning before the stream had started. Let's take a look at this tip. So this is a pretty unique one. First of all, it's a $25 anonymous tip. The person did not provide a name, so I want to say thank you to whoever this is. I don't know who it is because you didn't give me a name. But I appreciate the tip. It's having me dancing out of the closet. Let's get you on the leaderboard. And let's see what they have to say. Okay. Here's their message in their $25 anonymous tip. Ready? I only watch your Deadly Premonition playthroughs. Thank you for doing them. Well, first of all, you're welcome. Second of all,
very suspicious troll message.
Because there's only 2 Deadly Premonition games. I've played both of them.
Okay.
One of them is a very old playthrough
is it really that suspicious?
I actually did pretty close to when I moved out here about 9 years ago. I remember it was on PlayStation 3, and everyone felt that it was a really, really bad version of the game because it ran like crap. But it was a quirky game. It was absolutely weird, and the plot reminded me of like Twin Peaks combined with some other weirdo stuff. Of course, the famous fishing scene and music came out of that game. You ready?
I wonder why he's so familiar with this song. It's such a hood classic. Were there particular people
that came out of that
who made
game.
him listen to this song?
And that's a meme that's
often?
been running now in my content for almost a decade. Okay,
yeah,
so
there it
a lot,
is.
you know, a lot of fun with those games. And then of course the sequel came out a few years ago, exclusively on the Switch. You think, oh, if it's on exclusively on the Switch, designed just for that console, you know it's going to be great. Dude, that game was so bad. It ran so poorly. And what's sad about it is, it was quirky, fun, and interesting. And if it actually ran well, it probably would have been a good game. But the game performed like a piece of shit on that console to the point where half the time it was unplayable in the open world. It was just a laughable joke. Funny part is I beat it. I was probably one of the few people who actually played the whole game. So here's a weird thing that I'll bring up. Because a lot of people say, I don't get it. DSP, you know, is certainly not
gaming.
A popular guy anymore. And listen, I'm not going to dispute that fact. You know, on average, I get around 300 viewers on a stream, if that. Okay? My gameplay videos don't get a lot of views. They don't. You know, average gameplay I'm doing is like 300
Yes, that's
views.
true.
You know, a popular playthrough will do like maybe 1,000. You know, and I'm not hot shit. No one cares about me on Twitter. No one follows me. I post up. No one reads it. No one cares. You know, it's all right because I'm not making content for a large audience. I'm making content for a small curated audience in the modern day. That audience appreciates the content I make specifically for them and supports it. That's why I'm still successful. But another reason why I'm successful, all right, is because I have made content for 15 years. And someone like this person, who I don't know who they are, probably never heard from them before, goes back and is watching my old content, appreciates it, and says, oh, I love this content you've put out, even if it's only an incredibly small portion of my content. You know, they've watched 2 playthroughs in 15 years of content. And what do? They say, wow, those playthroughs were good, and they come and they support the stream. That's what it's all about, man. Seriously, and you guys don't understand, like, I get residual views on old videos. They still bring in ad revenue. Every once in a while, someone who everyone's never heard of comes by and supports the stream. I have patrons who've been supporting me for like 7-8 years on Patreon.
Yeah, they're part of the problem
like,
too.
Why are they still doing that? This is why. Because I've been around so long that I have legacy supporters who love the content I've put out over the years, and they will just show up to support.
Bitch-ass run.
And that's
he's
awesome,
running the turn count
right?
up. That's what he's
Unlike
doing.
someone who's only making videos for the now. You know, I make a video and it only pertains to today, and once today's gone, no one cares about that video ever again, right? That's flash in the pan popularity. What I have is long-term viewership. People who can watch my content 10 years down the line and still enjoy it because it's a playthrough that stands the test of time, that will always be there. I played Deadly Premonition, what, 8 years ago? Something like that? 9 years ago? This person came and tipped me for it. That's amazing. Thank you so very much. And that's kind of one of the plans I always had. With being a variety content creator and doing the kind of content I do, is that it's going to stand out as opposed to someone who's doing daily vlogs. Those vlogs don't even appeal after that day that they're out. Who cares about the vlog, right? Or someone who's doing drama videos, or someone who's, you know, that stuff, momentary popularity. But once that moment is gone, who cares? But I've been doing this for so long that people come all the time and say, wow, I love this classic playthrough, that classic playthrough. And I love that. I love that people can watch my old stuff and still enjoy it, you know? I know that I talk about this a lot, but YouTube Premium is a service that I think a lot of people sleep on and don't understand how much this would help. I want you to think about this, YouTube Premium. Everyone was using it. And
Wasn't
everyone
he
got paid
looking for products
for
to
every
show
view they got on the
yesterday?
YouTube
I got
channel.
one for him
Like,
right
with the
here.
even me, I don't even bring in 1 million views a month. But with the views I bring in, my ad revenue would like quadruple if everyone had YouTube Premium. And then it would be like, wow, all those residual views add up to support. The problem is, yeah, people don't use YouTube Premium. The old videos a lot of times don't get ads. And a lot of people use ad blocker. But you know what I'm saying? Like, the legacy stuff lives on. It was a long time ago, okay? I actually had this interesting conversation. Of all people, listen to this. The people from Channel Awesome, which used to be called That Guy with the Glasses when I was dealing with them, okay? This year was 2010. And I had an interesting conversation. Ready? So I got on a Skype call with Rob Walker. That's the brother of Doug Walker, the Nostalgia Critic. And at that time, I guess it was one of the people who was one of the CEOs, who I guess everyone hates. I think his name's Mike Michaud or whatever. I actually had a Skype call with these guys.
Why is he pretending like
Because
he's
this is
not
when they were
familiar
gonna
with these
recruit me
idiots?
to be part of That Guy with the Glasses in 2010.
They're both
and
still
I was
with the
gonna
company.
be a major part of their
Even if
gaming
they're like
group
the only
called Blistered
motherfuckers
Thumbs
there.
at the time. It was basically it was going to be Angry Joe and me. We're going to be the head of their gaming division. That was their plan.
Whoa.
Okay? So I sat down. I had a Skype call with these guys, and basically here's what they said. They said once you make about 5 years of content, all right, you're going to be good. Because once you make about 5 years of content, all right, essentially your content is now in syndication. Meaning, you have such a body of work out there.
Yeah, DSP
that
could have
at
been
any
part
moment
of the
someone
Nostalgia
finds you
Critic
today,
series.
Even if particularly they're not liking what you're doing in the moment.
Angry
they
Joe
can
got
go
an
back and look
episode.
at your body of work and find things they like. And that's going to always give you residual views and residual popularity and
They
residual
had the
income.
DSP
right?
episode of the Nostalgia
Now,
Critic series.
Definitely back then, it was more so, because back then, you know, we're talking 13 years ago, ad revenue was huge. And just getting residual views on videos could make you thousands and thousands of dollars. That is not the case today. You know, ad revenue on the internet has absolutely plummeted. Plummeted.
It's because that dude was wasting turns on me.
7 years, I would say. You know, all started with the adpocalypse in 2017. And it
Yeah, was
really
that
just
before or
has
after the Dead Space 2 video,
competition
this
out
Skype
there,
call?
And these advertisers realize.
Are you going to talk more about that? Did we just reference that to reference that to Flex?
But that being said,
you know those guys barely exist, right? Everyone hates them now.
There is something to be said that if you have a large body of work, you still get your name out there. Even with all the slander and nonsense against me on the internet on a daily basis, people can still go back and find fun content from my past, watch it, enjoy it, and then appreciate it and support in some way. And there's so many ways. You know, like I said, there's people who are patrons of mine. I haven't spoken with them in years, but they used to be frequenters of my content, and they still stay patrons because they like my content. They watch it on
No,
demand.
what? You mean those aren't high-quality videos, Eddie? What?
Someone like this.
DSP thought they were talking about video quality.
Loved them. I'm just gonna drop Phil a random tip because I.
If you argue against it, he's gonna argue
That's
why
what it's all
Cam
about.
Porter
And when
was
you hear
superior
idiots
back
out there say,
something.
"Oh, the only reason Phil's successful is because he has like 2 supporters," no, the reason I'm
No one
successful
says
is because
that.
I've worked my ass off for 15 years. So
Small
even though I'm
gaggle
not
of
popular
supporters,
today,
but I don't think anyone would argue that you
because
have
the work I put in
specifically
years
literally
prior,
two.
I'm still able to do what I love and make a living doing it. Do you understand? You get it? It was called work ethic, and the work ethic pays off over time. That's why I'm still here today. All right. So anyway, pretty awesome. I enjoy that. Thank you so much, whoever that was. Because again, I don't know who that is. Thank you so very much for a very, very generous tip. That is very, very nice of you, and I really appreciate it. Continuing on. Actually, JK did a 3rd super chat and said, "Happy Mama's Day, Philly boy. How's the wife and family?" Everyone's good. Everyone's good. We're staying cool. I wouldn't be surprised if my wife is turning on the air conditioners right now, because today it's supposed to be, again, high 80s or low 90s here in Washington. But outside of that, we're chill. Should be a good day. Okay. Continuing on.
What's up, Romy?
I received a $2 tip.
I just received a tip. No.
Hotel Dude
Wrong.
has
Incorrect.
tipped $2 and says,
Ron.
"My turn to try to contribute and get the vest streak going."
Oh,
We'll talk about that in a second
man.
since he brought it up. Could I get a shout out for Jonas, a real Copenhagen star? No idea what that means, but okay, shout out to Jonas. Cheers from Denmark, and you can call me Hotel Dude. All right, Hotel Dude. Well, thank you for the $2 tip. Now, if you're wondering what he's talking about when he said vest streak, okay, many of you may have no clue. So, 3 years ago, we were doing a special retrospective marathon as an event here on DSP Gaming. We were going down memory lane. In fact, this might have been my last retrospective event. I don't even remember. We were going down memory lane. We were watching old videos. We were having a good time. And we just so happened to be watching
10 turns
a random channel update vlog that I had done maybe like 10 years prior. Okay? And in the vlog, I happened to be wearing a vest. A beige vest. And everyone's like, do you have that? It's like a puffy jacket
It's a
style
chill
vest.
Sunday
like,
after midnight situation.
Because we've never seen you wear that.
Why is he giving vest lore? You got me, man.
You know,
I'm just
like,
here.
You know what it is I moved out to Washington. When I move out here, all the weather out here is different. I don't really wear that kind of clothing anymore. If I go out, I'll wear I have a leather jacket. I wear my leather jacket out or whatever if it's colder in the winter or fall. But outside of that, I wouldn't really be wearing that kind of
Greg's dumbass is trying to make a detractor con or something.
Style clothing from where I came from.
You got me fucked.
I said, I don't know if I have it, honestly. Let me go look. So I go.
Yes, I'm going to contact Almighty Tevin, and we are going to start the Detractor podcast, and we're going to spend like every episode saying DSP is a beggar. Oh man.
And lo and behold, I come out of the closet, and there it is.
Games or something.
And it looks brand new. It's like unworn, right?
You heard me.
And people are like, holy crap, you still have it? That's the one from over a decade ago you have
it.
Nice like, yeah, look, it's brand new. It didn't even, it didn't fall apart. It's really good quality, right? And people are like, well, why don't you wear it? I said, well, I'm not going to wear it indoors. That's stupid.
I guess on that being said, then.
So what we came up with the idea was...
They don't even know who I am.
Since I'm now an interactive live...
What would I talk about on that podcast? Which I don't mind. I've listened to them. They're all cool people. But what would I talk about on that podcast that you couldn't hear better from any of the other hundreds of people that have studied DSP far more and have got them down to a science way better than I ever could?
Streamer, right? If I raise a certain amount of funds, support in this particular stream, I'll put on a vest. And so we started this practice. If I raise $100 on any particular stream, I'll put on a vest.
It's not the first time someone's
somehow, and I don't know how, this idea took off. Ladies and gentlemen, we hit an unprecedented vest streak. How many was it? I don't even know how many it was, but it lasted like 3 months. It was like, I want to say it was like March
Tips
or
and
April,
tricks for the
and
slots. Pull out
July.
when you're
I'm completely wrong probably with the timing.
That's just gonna sound weird. Pull out while you're ahead.
People were saying 270, 250. It was something like 250, 260, 270 straight streams. I do 2 streams a day, right? So you're talking, it was like a 3 to 4 month.
I don't want that
streak
podcast joke to, since we're gonna bring the other podcast up. I don't want that Craig podcast joke to make it seem like a diss on that being said either.
All right, I had no money. All my money was going to
it's not in any way comparable to what Craig is suggesting.
All kinds of shit. And basically, if that
an actual convention for the tractors,
been way hard up, and it was really helpful.
Specifically to make money off of the tractors, might I add.
So it was called the Vest Streak. We actually had a thing at the bottom of the screen that said Vest Streak. To every stream when we hit the Vest goal, another number added to the streak, right? But I'll be honest with everyone, because you guys know me. It kind of got annoying, and here's why I got annoying.
And it was probably the Paper Mario
not because I was being supported. That was amazing. The level of support I was receiving was outstanding, tremendous, over-the-top positive.
He just wanted to finish Paper Mario, man.
Basically what happened was, people started coming to the streams, and let's be honest, it was trolls. It was people who pretended like they were fans, but they were here to derail my content. And they would come to the streams, and they'd be like, oh, is Phil gonna hit the vest goal?
Correct,
oh,
just trying to finesse, I can't hate.
What vest is he gonna wear? Was he a vest today?
I get you, but he should, like, go away. Does that mean? I'm like, go away. Like, you had your shot.
And it's like,
you have served your you have served your use. We no longer have need of your services.
Absolutely, positively bullshit. And
I don't know exactly the context.
I don't want my whole stream to be about that. I don't want everyone on a stream.
I am just reporting what I am hearing on the wayside. I have not listened to anything that he's actually talked about.
If someone's gonna mention it, it should be me. I'm the one running the business.
See, you've seen more of it than I have. If you were watching Tevin.
Say, hey guys, you want to support the stream? Please do this.
I was slotting up.
That's not.
I'm hearing all of this as I get back.
What happened was we had people. I mean, we had dozens of people coming in a day with sock accounts and everything, and oh, the vest streak, the vest, and it got annoying. Even my viewers who were here for gameplay were like,
I do think it's stupid that DSP complains about Craig responding.
A double-edged sword. I mean, yeah, it's a blessing.
You didn't need to talk about him in the first place.
The quality's dropping. Because
if it's someone else bringing up Craig first, then ignore him. The thing you said you'd like to do anyway.
And after that, things tapered off. You know, I still get great support.
But Craig shouldn't feed into
it's
it
not
either,
a regular
'cause
thing that we're
I
hitting
don't
goals. Now,
wanna
by
hear
the way,
about
since
Craig,
then,
man.
we
I ain't trying to hear about
changes.
Craig,
You know, I
man.
left Twitch.
I
I
just
lost
wanna
a
have a
lot of
fun
income
stream.
when I left Twitch. I came over here to YouTube. And we actually
It's
adjusted
also
the goals. Now we have
tiresome,
3
man. You
tiers
think
of
I want to
goals,
hear
a
segments like
$50
this
goal,
every night?
$100 goal,
When I
and a
just want
$150
to,
goal.
I just want to
It's
get
gunner
cozy.
glasses at 50, a hat of your choice at 100, and a vest of your choice at 150. Okay, so things are different now, years later. But very rarely are we hitting these goals. And quite frankly, you know, I'm not harping on it. Overall, in the day, I do really well for a streamer of my size. I mean, ridiculous. I have some of the most supportive viewers on this planet, and I know that. I'm incredibly grateful for it.
Yeah,
okay?
we all saw that
so I'm not
Twitch,
going to sit here and harp on it every day.
that Twitch leaderboard
you know,
with you at the
but
top.
For the most part, things are good.
You don't
But then
have the
this
most
week, all of a sudden,
supporters. You had
we
the
started
most
hitting
money
goals every
per
stream, and I'll be honest,
supporter.
it's a combination of regulars coming and doing their regular support, combined with someone named Jinx, who just started showing up and contributing not only with tips, but also gifting memberships to the channel. And I'll be honest, I don't know who Jinx is. Jinx says that there's someone who's a longtime supporter. They said, I've been watching you since way back in the day. I appreciate all the content you put out, and now I can support your channel, okay? And listen, I really appreciate that. However, I know
How many
someone
times has
like
this
this, they're not
motherfucker
gonna
begged
last
for
forever. They're
help
not gonna
and
be here on
Jinx
every
didn't come
stream. They're not
through?
gonna support
But
every
now all of a
stream.
sudden,
but literally,
we've been strangely deprived of begging
6
segments.
streams in
Like,
a
we didn't
row,
get a single segment about
we
the
have
2
hit the
big
goals.
bills in the first 2 weeks of May.
all the goals.
So we're like
The gunner
deprived
glasses,
of
the
begging.
hat,
There's
and the
really
vest.
no reason
So
for
that's
Jinx to
tremendous. And that has
find
not
it in
happened.
his
I don't
heart
think
to step
we've had a
forward and have a
6
change of heart and start
stream
fucking
streak like that.
donating this much money.
We haven't had that since I can't even remember the vest. I don't think it was the vest streak.
It's out
I
of
think we have
nowhere to
had
start
6
tipping.
days in a row. where we
It
hit
just
goals,
doesn't.
But it's like
Does
very
not make
rare.
sense
Even
to
during
me.
the biggest releases, you know, Resident Evil 4 earlier this year, last year, even Elden Ring. I don't think we were hitting 6 straight days where we were hitting all the goals like that. So this is unprecedented, except for the vest streak 3 years ago. You see? So that's why people are saying, "Oh, it's the vest streak. The vest streak is back."
You're the one
Here's the
saying
thing.
that.
I
Or
don't
well,
wanna make my content
well,
about
wait a
that
minute.
ever
Wait a
again.
minute.
I
Wait a
learned
minute. Wait a
from my
minute.
mistake 3 years
Okay.
ago.
Okay,
how it
but
became
but
all
I
about
watched
talking
the
about
daily
vest
wrap
streak and supporting the vest
yesterday.
streak. I don't want it to
It was
be
either
like that
yesterday
anymore,
or
all right?
Fridays
That's why
where we
I'm not
were
gonna put
we were
vest
kind of being
streak down here on
cocky
the
about
leaderboard,
the
and we're
vest
gonna
streak
start counting.
returning.
We're not going to do that. You guys want to count it. I'm not going to stop you. But I'm not going to sit here and make every single stream about the vest, the vest, the vest. Can we hit the vest goal, the vest? We're not doing that. Okay? So I'm just going to forewarn everyone.
Oh yeah, I'm
If
feeling
people sit
forewarned
around
right now.
and start doing this and start making it all about that and essentially derail the
I'm gonna
streams,
ban
maybe that
you.
we can't concentrate on the gameplay and have good talk anymore, and instead it's about vest, vest, vest. You're not going to be here. You're going to be gone. Just like everyone else causing drama, just like everyone else who derails my streams, it's not allowed. Because that's what it is. That's exactly what it's called, derailing. That's what it was 3 years ago. People coming to the streams, they didn't care what game I was playing. They didn't care what we were talking about. They literally came in here to talk about money.
You need to stop
make it
feeding
look like
into
that's all
it
I care
then.
about, when that's not the case.
Stop
I'm
making
putting out
daily
meaningful
raps about
content for
the
my audience
best streak.
first,
Oh
and
yeah,
if
it's
I
been
get
so
to
long
get
since we've had
support or make a living
4
doing it,
straight streams in
you
a
know, that
row
goes
of
hand in
me
hand with putting
wearing
out good
on,
content people
putting
like.
on the
But
vest.
that's kind of the
Da,
icing
da,
on
da, da,
the cake.
this, that, and the other.
Primary, you know,
You can't have your
focus,
cake
the
and
number
eat it
one
too,
thing
man.
I'm you know, focused on is having a good time with you and making good content for you. All right. So it's been amazing this week so far. 6 straight streams.
Look
of
at him.
hitting
He's
all of our
doing
goals.
it. What did you just
Goals,
What did
by
you
the
just
way,
say?
Tips goals and membership goals, because we've exceeded member goals every day too. That's why we're 100
What
members
did
more
I
than we were
just
3
tell
days ago,
you?
see? So this has been outstanding. Can we keep it up? I have
What
no
are you
idea.
doing?
Am I gonna freak out if we don't? No. It's not a big deal if we don't. Support
Oh
comes
my
and
God.
goes. Things get good. Things get slow. It's all good. It all evens out in the end, and it's all a good time. As long as we're having a good time together, that's all that matters, man. So I'm not going to make it all about that. Understand that. And I don't want to see people sitting in the chat constantly talking about Jinx, because he's been a supporter for 3 days, and talking shit. And where is he? What's going on with Jinx? Fuck off. It's none of your business. Why are you stalking Jinx, right? Fuck you. Grow up and leave him alone.
Like the third
When I
time we've
see
had
it,
to talk
you're
about
gone.
this.
Okay.
Today, had
Let's
to do it
continue.
yesterday, had to
Ladies
do
and
it on Daily
gentlemen,
Rev,
I
had to do
received
it in
a
the
generous
fucking
tip.
chat before we
See who
started
this
this
is from.
stream up.
Wow. A $75 tip. $75 just came in, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa,
Wow.
buddy.
Let's go ahead and get it. What animation would that be? I guess that would be the $50 animation. Yes.
Wow! You tip 75 and you get the $50 animation? Come on, man. Like 75. We can't have something for 75 bucks.
Here we go.
I bet he has an animation for 25. Can't have animations for all multiples of 25. Oh, get fucked, I guess. Can you not, man? Alright, amazing bit. Very funny.
Here we go. So,
yes, that's true.
a $75 tip has come in.
And
it's from the same person who tipped the $25.
I don't know about that.
This is the same person who sent the Deadly Premonition donation. Your playthrough of the first game is super entertaining, and it got me out of some
I know
bad times, so
he
this is the least
tipped
that I can
under
do.
his name today.
You see what I'm saying, guys?
I mean,
Thank you again, whoever
tonight.
this is, because I don't know who this is. They very likely maybe have never been on a stream.
So is he
But they're
ebbing
watching now,
between
and they see, what I had to
the
say.
Jinx
Thank you so
identity
very
and
much. That is
anonymous
super duper appreciated.
tips?
With that $75, we have now hit the hat goal.
Yeah, none of this shit fucking matters.
So
he makes his
now,
money or he
you guys
doesn't.
can
It's
vote
really
on a
not
hat.
that serious. Just another fucking episode.
Thank you very,
I'm just
very much
annoyed
again.
that we keep getting
I should call him
reruns. Where's
the
the new
Deadly
content
Premonition
at?
Appreciated.
Is this what the writer's strike
Thank
has
you
done to us?
For the very generous tip. And now we're going to do a hat goal. Now, here's the fun thing about this, okay?
Ain't nothing fun about
We
this.
have now worn so many hats that we kind of have to redo the rotation because I've worn almost all of them in the last week, okay? So... which hat is Star Wars best? Okay, let's think about hats that maybe I did wear recently, but now we kind of want to hit the reset button on them. So some people asked about the King's Crown. The King's Crown is not a great hat to wear because it doesn't really sit on my head and it deflates. So sadly, that King's Crown is not really viable. Only if like we're in a rush or at the end of a stream and I can wear it for like 25 minutes or something.
Why is it in the rotation then? The quote-unquote rotation.
Same thing with the fishing hat. Like the fishing hat, it's not very comfortable. I'd much rather wear that during
Why
the
does
summer
it
months
exist?
if we're doing something around then.
Why
So
does it
that's not gonna
exist
be
if it's
eligible
not
for now.
comfortable?
So let's see,
If
what
it's
hats
not
have I
fun,
not worn recently?
why bother?
I didn't wear the Deadpool
Oh
hat.
my god.
I didn't wear the
What the hell
beanie,
are
which
these
could be either
maps?
Punisher or Daredevil. However, we get Pikachu hat on there because I haven't worn the Pikachu hat in a while. And
Everyone's got a good Pikachu hat.
I guess also we could do the pilot military hat.
The
which I
pilot
haven't worn in a
military
while.
hat.
There you go. So please vote on those hats. Let's see what people want for the rest of today. Okay. So Wolf's Paradox did a super chat. Now Wolf's Paradox, just so you know, first of all, I appreciate it. It's a $20 super chat. I'm gonna cut out half of it because half of it is bullshit. The other half I've already addressed, but it just might be that now it's been about 2 months and people don't realize. So I will answer what you're saying.
Time to be fucking weird, I guess.
So in a nutshell, basically what Wolf's Paradox is saying is that he's seeing a lot of positivity on the internet around people who, recently had a lot of negativity associated with them. Correct?
Correct.
And he says,
yes, right.
Do you think that I would have benefited from something like that
No.
if during the interview with Side Scrollers I had shown screenshots
Oh
to Craig
no, the
of
interview.
mobile game?
Whoa.
All right? So here's the thing. I've already addressed this. This has already been explained, but no one listens to my answers. All right? No one wants to hear the answers.
Because
all
it's
right?
bullshit.
I'm
Suck
on this
a dog
podcast
off.
with Side Scrollers, all right? And Craig's like, if you're innocent of all these
If we're done
claims
with
of spending
this,
money
if
on
we're
mobile
done
games,
with
which is
this like we
ludicrous
said
that
we
there's even a
were,
claim
we would
against me
not
and
be
anyone gives a
addressing
fuck
this
about
point.
it, because it has nothing to do
Remember when
with
he?
me and my
Remember like
content
not
at
even
all.
10 seconds
It's the
ago we
most
said
ludicrous bullshit
half
from
of this is
outside the stream
bullshit,
that has
and I'm
nothing
not
to do
gonna
with
address it.
anyone's business or anything.
Oh,
It's
what are you doing right
false,
now?
But it's still bullshit anyway. It shouldn't affect anyone's judgment or anything. It's just nonsense. It's fucking bullshit. Okay? And it pisses me off that we have to talk about it.
Pisses me
'cause
off.
it's fucking
Piss me the
nonsense.
fuck off.
It's so stupid. But anyway, since this is what they wanted to harp on in the interview, out of all the things to talk about, this is what they harped on in the interview, right?
Anyway.
During the interview, the host of the interview, Craig, said, can you just send me a screenshot of the game, right, to prove your innocence? And what did I say? I said, I would probably consider and be willing to do it, but I'm not going to do it live on the show, all right? Now, why didn't I do it live on the show? It's very simple, because it wouldn't have proved anything, all right? These accounts, these mobile game accounts, even though they're not supposed to be transferable, are. There's a whole market for them online. Right now, you can go online and search WWE Champions account, and you can buy one right now, even though you're not supposed to be able to. You can buy it from someone, and you own that account, and it's a transfer of the account. You understand? So if I had just taken a screenshot and sent them a screenshot of my real account, it literally would have proven nothing. They would, oh, you see, so that's easily bullshit. It's easily doctored because he bought someone else's account or whatever. The real way to prove your innocence in a case like this needs to actually show all the corroborating evidence, okay? So what does that mean? It means I would have had to show my account, all the information tied to the account. Now, I have a phone. So I could show things, for example, there's on iPhones, there's something called Game Center. And I could have shown that on Game Center, there's an account associated with Game Center, and that's, you know what I'm saying, that's the account that I'm using. It's not the account I'm accused of using and all that. In addition, I could have showed all the other games that I've ever played on Game Center, and I was going to actually show other games that I play currently to show
like
all my
Street Fighter
information
Duel.
that it's all
The
real,
game
it's
you
all
said
the same
you
name
didn't
and
play
everything associated
until
with
you
all
were
those
forced
accounts.
to
That's
admit
my
you
account.
did.
That's what I really
Yes.
did. So the only way to prove innocence isn't just do a quick screenshot and show it on a podcast. It wouldn't have never worked. It would have immediately been debunked. Oh, that's a fake account. He sold it. But if I can show all the corroborating evidence, right?
No, that
here's
was
the
Deep
account. Here's how it ties to this ID. Here's other accounts in that name for corroboration. Here's your body of evidence to prove what I'm saying is true. Then it would have been fine. And I already explained this. I'm getting asked again 2 months later. People already forgot my answers. Immediately after that show ended, I
bet you wanted to forget that fucking interview happened too, man.
Took all the screenshots, proved all of it, had all of it there, okay? All the evidence showing this is my real account, it ties to this ID, to
Couldn't you just make a fake account before the interview? Thought he was going to ask that question.
Games, that's the same ID, you can show it's the one I've been using for years.
I assume they would have looked at everything on the Champions account.
And I emailed Craig.
Smart eye,
said,
like TJ Game Bots would be able to tell if that was a new account or not.
Looking at your email
Obviously,
account,
if you didn't have many Hogans, you can make the argument that it's a fresh account if you're not able to see exactly when it was made. DSP allegedly playing since 2016 or whenever the fuck this game came out, but he only has like 2 Hogans, as if he just made the account today. Interesting.
Only for me to get an email the next day saying, yeah, we slammed you all this morning on our podcast because we don't believe you. And it's like, so essentially he didn't care. He never believed me. He wasn't going to believe me. You understand? Like, they already had preconceived notions in their heads of what the deal was based on watching 2 weeks of detractor content. Right? There was absolutely no chance they were going to believe anything I said. If I sent them the screenshot, oh, well, he bought someone else's account. There's no evidence of anything. When I actually said, give me a few minutes after the show, let me take a half an hour to show all the evidence, create the packet of evidence you need to show my real stuff. And I said, I want to send it to you. Are you ready? He ignored
DSP
me.
dossier.
And the next day said, don't bother sending it. I don't want it. We already slammed you on our show. So,
yeah, because you were just another Tuesday to him. He had moved on already by then.
Or
I guess
so objective, and
he didn't really move
on. The interview
as
appeared
evidenced by
objective.
tonight.
After the fact, their behavior proves it wasn't. It proves the whole thing was a setup. They watched 2 weeks of detractor content. They never watched a single one of my
Yeah, you could have looked that shit up weeks in advance.
A single one of my fans who likes
they were
my
in
content.
active
What do
fucking
you like about Phil?
communication
What's
with
a
your
positive
haters.
spin on this? All they wanted to do
they didn't
was
ask
sit
me
there
for
and
anything.
watch dumb shit from fucking It's a Gundam and other idiots who all they do is
this dude acts like Gundam makes a DSP video every day. Like he's over there clipping with Snort and the boys.
And because I couldn't immediately provide them with evidence of innocence.
But in his mind, in his eye, in the back of his head, back of his mind.
I'm not ever going to waste time
Gundam's
doing
like top
interviews and shit like this
detractor.
ever again
He's like the
because
new
I don't
Tevin
believe there's a single person on the internet who will give me a fair shake. They're all in it for their own
And you say there was like
agendas.
one person that
They're all in it to get over. Because take a look at how they got over for the next 2 weeks. It was constant. Let's talk about Phil. Here's a related topic similar to Phil. I mean, shit, they just interviewed Boogie. Do you think they would have fucking interviewed Boogie if they didn't have me on the show first? It's a
probably.
No-brainer.
Like, do you know who fucking Boogie is? Hello?
Benefits that they're gonna have
Did he really say
they had
this?
me on the show.
Oh
so,
my lord. I'm pretty sure Boogie was scheduled around the same time that DSP was, or close to it. No, wait, it was after the interview. But come on, man, it's fucking Boogie.
In a way, but there was no
really?
way they were ever going to believe me to begin with.
Really?
How else can you explain that I
the
literally
infamy
said to him
flex.
right after the show, dude, I have all
yeah,
the
they're
evidence for
interviewing
you.
LTG
I'd like to send
because
it to you,
of
but I just
me,
want to be
right?
sure your email. Can you
They want to
take it?
interview all the
And you ignore me
lolcows
for a
now.
day, only so you can do a negative
They want
show about me the
to do
next
a
day,
DSP.
profit
They
from
want to
my
pull a
haters,
DSP
and
with all
then
the other
email me like, oh,
lolcows.
by the way, yeah, we don't believe you. Too bad. So
I didn't see any clips of
fuck all
fucking
that
Boogie
nonsense.
imploding in that interview.
But again, this is not anything I've already said. I've already
So I guess
said
he
it,
did
but
it
now
right.
it's 2 months later.
Yes, that's
so
true.
I guess every couple of months I have to reiterate the exact same thing I said 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Because people didn't listen the first
People
time.
don't pay
I don't know
attention.
what else to say. All right, it really is.
It's like yesterday when Ann was streaming the fight and people were asking him nonstop if he was going to stream the paid pay-per-view portion of it.
There you go.
Even though the title said he
and that's
wasn't,
that. Like I
and
said,
there was an
I'm done with
announcement
that.
that said he wasn't. There was a pinned message that said he
I'm
wasn't.
absolutely not
and then he
gonna be bothering with that nonsense ever
verbally
again.
said it
I
on stream
don't
that he
see a
was going to
reason
say
to
it, and then
address it. As you know, in 2
he
months,
wasn't going to show it.
we're
And
done
people
talking
still
about it,
in the
and
chat
has anything
were
horrible
coming in
happened in the last
asking
2
if he was
months?
going to stream the KSI shit.
People
just don't listen, you guys. That's just how it is.
It has nothing to do with the quality of stuff I put out for my viewership on the internet, and they don't care about it. So that's why I want to bring it up. So I'm okay bringing it up now, just to reiterate what I've already said.
Craig wasn't okay with
but
you bringing it up.
Outside of that, there's no point in ever talking about it ever again. Okay? Okay, let's continue. Grog, what's going on? Good to see you here this morning. Grog has done a super chat. Says, Phil, I'm loving your Final Fantasy V playthrough. Always glad to see you doing what you love. Take care. Thank you. And Grog, like, seriously, that's exactly what that playthrough is. That's like, that's a love letter to the games I grew up playing in the 1990s. You know what I'm saying? Like the classic turn-based RPGs. Really, really enjoying that kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? I love that. Even though it's not for my main audience. I know when I play Final Fantasy V, I'm not getting tons of people on the streams. I'm not getting a ridiculous amount of support. But I'm having a ton of fun with that playthrough. So, okay. And then Wolf's Paradox did a follow-up super chat. Thank you, Grog, by the way, for the super chat. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Wolf's Paradox did a super chat. I'm not trying to bring up any drama for drama's sake. I'm trying to figure out ways that you can maybe get less hate. It's never going to happen. Wolf's Paradox, here's the thing. We've now realized, right? Even people on the internet who normally would be fair have now realized it benefits us more to hate Phil.
Oh, man,
than to
I saw
not,
people talking about
because it is
this.
such a mob mentality of hate against me. If you were to say, I don't hate Phil, maybe we should give him a fair shake, you'll actually get shit on the internet. So people are not going to do that. They're going to ride the wave of negative memes to benefit for personal gain. Right? That's exactly what they're going to do. And my haters will always support that too. Anyone who shits on me, they're going to go support, right? So of course, people are going to do it. It's immediate personal gain. And people can't resist it. People are greedy, people are selfish, people don't want to give someone a fair shake, people don't want to see two sides of an issue at all. They just want to see what benefits me today. Let's do it. Let's crap on someone and get that money. So,
let's make that money mine.
I don't think it's ever going to change. It's going to be me continuing to put out meaningful content to my audience. All right? And that's all I care about. I don't care about any of this other white noise on the outside or how many morons try to pull me into their bullshit. I'm not going to fucking fall for that nonsense. I'm just going to be here and enjoy the content that I do with my audience every day. All right?
How inspirational.
I don't care about everyone else's opinion. They could all go to hell. Okay. NDO 103 has just tipped me $50.
Whoa, buddy.
NDO, thank you so very much. And with that tip, it is official. We have hit our full tips goal for the day. Or for the stream, I should say. Ladies and gentlemen, which means we will have a vest, which means
you're gonna have to do it again tonight,
continue.
motherfucker.
And by the way, Jinx isn't even here today.
Doppel.
So there you have it. Jinx, at least as of yet, Jinx is not even on the stream. And we have already hit our vest goal for today. So thank you very much to those who are supporting. I really appreciate that. Is the vest streak back? Again, it's not all about that. I'm not going to put it on the leaderboard, but thank you guys for supporting in the way you are. It is absolutely amazing.
It's not about that, you guys.
So yes, we will have a poll for a vest shortly. I received, let's see here. How much is this?
Oh, let's see here.
I don't even care. Someone tipped $1 and says, "Are you aware that people post emojis to make fun of you?" I don't care. If they have to do these really stupid,
droopy,
like
red-faced
behind the
droopy,
scenes,
red-faced droopy,
like inside joke, detractor emote memes, I don't care.
I don't care,
I mean,
guys.
if anything, that should be a red badge of
dumbness.
like
Courage?
a scarlet letter that they're wearing on their fucking cells.
You almost said something else,
right?
man.
I just want you to think about that. We have a secret
think about
emo
it. Think about
that
this.
we all use in Phil's
People
chat.
spam emo.
And the secret emo is actually a way to hate on Phil, but only the detractors understand it because it's only from a detractor circle. So if you want to prove that you're an idiot, you use that emote, I guess, right? Like, I don't even know what else to say. Really, like, go ahead. I don't care. I mean, I'm not going to recognize it. No one sees it unless you're in the chat. No one sees it, right? So why the fuck do I care about it? Who gives a shit? You can't make this stuff up. I received a $10 tip from Jay Nicholson. In your opinion, is it worth buying Jedi Survivor now after these patches? Phil, remember you're my #1 guy. So it's supposed to be
he's the guy.
Jack Nicholson playing the Joker. Remember, you're my #1. And actually, wasn't it Jack Palance who played the gangster before him, if I remember correctly? You're my #1 guy. Anyway, that's in the Tim Burton original Batman movie. It's a great movie. So we're at 1006.
In case you're not Mr.
All
Batman.
right? And I hate to say it, I don't think the game has improved at all, has it? Like, let's be honest here. Did any of those patches improve the gameplay experience? Did anyone even notice any change? I didn't.
No.
Like, you would think, oh, it's supposed to improve performance or whatever. I didn't notice any change. It looks exactly the same to me. So I don't think that the patches did anything. Quite frankly, we're still having game bugs and crashes. We're still having enemies vanish into thin air. We're still having really disgusting, distorted, contorted death animations, right? So no, I don't think that any of that is improving anything, quite frankly. So no, I mean, is it worth buying? Well, depends on your version. I've heard PS5 version is the best. I've heard PC version the worst. You see the version I'm playing and how it performs. I mean, if you're okay with a game that has a good story, right? Good world design, interesting puzzles, and interesting combat, but it's played with bad graphics and game bugs, I mean, yeah, then get it. But it's really hard for me to say it's a must-buy. I don't think it is. I think that actually the shortcomings of a game that should be AAA but feels more like a B-movie game because of all its joking issues, you know? It's like I said, it's a comedy of errors. The game's good, then all of a sudden something funny, something stupid happens funny, like you laugh, okay, but then it happens again, you're like, oh, what? And it happens again,
What?
like, what the fuck?
Huh?
How did they fuck this up so bad?
What the fuck?
Right?
Got my bits on me.
Anyway, there you go. So your ability to judge Mr. Nicholson for yourself, but you know, it ain't a polished experience, that's for sure. I received another $1.
I just received a tip. It is from James.
And this is just nonsense.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just getting ignored.
Faulted, I guess.
It's just a troll. I'm just getting ignored.
Oh, well.
Retro did a $20 super chat. Thank you, Retro. Says, I don't hate you, Phil. Well, thank you, Retro. I'm glad you don't hate me.
I do.
I don't know why you felt the need to say that. I didn't think that you hated me. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that very much. Okay. All right, guys. We're about to wrap up the podcast. So, by the way, the military hat / pilot hat has one. You know, I call it the M. Bison
what
hat,
a
but we haven't played
shocker.
Street Fighter in a long time. It's hard to associate it with M. Bison when Bison's not around. And I don't think Bison's in Street Fighter 6, although there's a lot of speculation
regarded theory
that the character JP may be M. Bison in another body, or maybe have some relation
That's
to
what
M. Bison
happens
or Shadow Luke
when you
in
watch
general.
the Level 1 podcast.
But anyway, let's do a poll for the vest. And I'll toss the hat on for the end of the show here. Which vest is Jedi best? So at this point, what vests have we not worn We've worn almost all of them.
We wore all of
definitely
them
have not
because
worn
I've
the
been making
camo
the
vest.
money.
Okay.
That's the money
We
flex.
did not wear the blue
He's got
vest.
the money. He's got
Those are the
the
two we
money.
have not worn,
Money,
correct? We wore gray, beige. Oh, we didn't wear the red vest, did we? I guess I don't remember wearing the red vest. So we'll say red. Because I don't remember wearing the red.
Yeah, if Bison's not in Street Fighter 6, can it even be called the Bison hat anymore? Because he's not in the game, according to him.
We just wore platinum.
I guess we have no choice. We really have to compete. It
really
really has to be a dictator
And we just
hat.
wore beige. But what was the sixth vest that I wore? Oh, gray. So there's the six we just wore. All right, so the other one would be Pokemon. The Pokemon vest. So camo, blue, red, or Pokemon vest. Keep in mind, whatever I'm wearing is going to go with the military hat, which I'll grab. Oh, okay. So by the way, time to ban some idiots who want to say fucked up stuff, like this moron right here.
It hit anybody want that ban hammer? That ban hammer?
So please vote. And thank you.
That
Last chance. Does anyone have a last question or anything you'd like to say before we begin with Star Wars today? Last chance to get your question in and get it addressed.
I know someone has a question.
Expand Dog says, I don't think it's fair to criticize Jedi's pacing. You're spending 4 to 5 hours of your 15 hours fighting 2 optional frogs. Wrong. That's not true.
Wrong. Incorrect. No, that's not true. Wrong. And allow me to explain.
Expand Dog says, I don't think it's fair to criticize Jedi's pacing. You're spending 4 to 5 hours of your 15 hours fighting 2 optional frogs.
I'm pretty sure motherfuckers accumulated the total time he spent on the frogs, and it came to actually about 4 to 5 hours. So I don't want to hear any lip from this motherfucker. I sourced my info from others. Yes, I didn't pull that number out of my ass.
Wrong.
Wrong.
That's
Incorrect.
not true.
No.
I spent 2 hours on the double
He's like the
frog fight,
fucking
and I spent
donkey on
about
Family
1
Guy.
hour to 90
Eonk.
minutes on the single frog fight. So even if you want to argue 3.5 hours, you'd still say the first planet is about 12 hours long instead of 15. Still too long. Still ridiculously slow pacing. Definitely what should have happened is you go to the first planet, you do a little bit of exploration, get to the town has 1 or 2 missions, a little bit of exploration, you're out of there within 8 hours. Now you're off to the first planet. Instead, they draw it out.
Do you want to be in the pacing department or the item placement department?
But I can't do it because I don't have the abilities. It just makes it feel
like a
very
Metroidvania.
weird.
Oh
Like,
wait, he doesn't like those games. That explains a lot.
Next planet you go to. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't. I was already out the door the second he gave me this
I'm calling
explanation.
my mother after the stream, actually.
Okay. I'll real talk. I posted the question and then I was out the door.
Call my mother between the streams to see how she's doing today. I hope she got I sent her a Mother's Day card over a week ago because mail is so bad in the United States right now that sometimes you mail something and it can take 3 weeks to get there. But I mailed her a card like 2 weeks ago. I hope she got it. Yes. What is meaningful is subjective. That is absolutely correct. That's
Okay.
a given.
We're not gonna give any further thought to that. What if motherfuckers in this thread probably thought this stream probably think the tiers content is meaningful.
No one's asked me anything.
Looks meaningful to me.
So I guess we're good to end it and then jump into the game then, right?
I guess so.
Are we? No one's saying anything, so I guess. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we will adjourn.
Dude,
Today's
if it wasn't for me, that would have been the shortest Q&A fucking segment ever. No.
Yesterday? Yeah, we were yesterday. Yep. What's going on, Jade? It's good to have you here today. How you doing?
Hello, Phil.
Do I like Pokemon?
I go
Of course
slot
I like
today. Okay, Jade.
Is it worth
Thank
buying
you.
Kingdom Hearts 1 through 3 for $55? I mean, it's pretty good value for 3 full-length games. Keep in mind, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 do play very outdated, but they're actually quite good games. They're better than 3. So
No.
It's your call.
2 is not out.
Just don't
Fuck
expect
off.
to understand the story. You won't. Only playing those 3 games, you'll have no clue what the fuck's going on. You have to play all the spin-offs to understand it.
They're not spin-offs. Whatever.
I have gotten 100% of achievements in the game before. Yes, I have.
Oh my god. It's way too late to be arguing
Good, I'm
shit
glad you're
like
feeling
that.
good, Jay.
Eyes
Thoughts on
hurt.
Fallout 4 next gen.
Don't play Star Wars, please.
If we're gonna replay Fallout 4 to play it on current gen would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's why Kingdom Hearts fans still argue over 2
Will Virtua
versus
Fighter
3
return?
after,
Probably
after
never.
the DLC.
There really
to this
is
day.
no competitive community for Virtua Fighter. I played it casually as much as I could, to the point where I was losing enjoyment because people were basically hitting me up with stuff that was like frame trap shit that I didn't understand. And I was like, okay, I think that's enough of that. I'm not going to invest that much time into it, so. Felipe, if you would like to know if I'm enjoying Tears of the Kingdom, watch today's podcast. I talked all about it earlier on the show. Okay.
Rewind the stream, man.
Guys, I think it's time to adjourn. Thank you for a great podcast. Thank you for the overwhelming support. Like I said, it's pretty cool we have this level of support. And the idiots who come and say, oh, the only way Phil will ever get that support is with one person. And here we are today.
And they're not
that
even
one
here.
person who's been super supportive for 6 straight streams is not even here.
Control L.
And here we are hitting all the goals. It's very nice of everyone. Thank you so much for that. I hope you're enjoying your springs. If you indeed are in spring, stay safe. And I'll see you soon.
Alright, let's take a look at this. This is actually relevant to what DSP was arguing about 45 minutes ago when he was talking about shit that I halfway cared about.
When we think about single-player games, it can be useful to picture the interactivity which occurs between the player and the computer. The player feeds the computer inputs by moving
Someone
some
better
body
send this
part,
to him,
while the computer feeds the player outputs in the form of audio-visual
that
information.
thing he does.
These two types of communication form a feedback
you know what
loop,
I mean,
which
the-
can provide
the
innate
reacting.
enjoyment all by itself. That said, the surface level of the feedback loop is clearly not the purpose of the game, otherwise it could be automated with a mechanical button presser. A player's job is not merely to provide inputs, and enjoyment is not merely derived from seeing those
watch the
inputs
daily wrap
registered
after
on
this.
screen. Instead, it might be more useful to say that a player brings their desires into the feedback loop. Inputs are a means to those desires. The jump button is pushed in time to avoid a fall. The attack button is pushed in order to destroy an enemy. Naturally, players need a reason to take any action at all, and therefore motivation is what the game provides. Pitfalls appear to provoke a jump. Enemies appear to
Twilight Phil
provoke an
don't
attack.
deserve to
Of course,
watch
a pair of
videos
words
like
will
this.
never truly sum up this
Whoa.
complex interaction, but desire and
But accurate.
motivation seem like a reasonable enough
I
summary.
haven't watched all of this guy's
Generally
videos, only a
speaking,
couple.
the fundamental
but, I
input-output
like what
loop
I've
is
seen.
how it feels to watch someone else
got a
play a
soothing
game,
voice.
whereas the desire-motivation loop is how it feels to actually play a game. Generally speaking,
learn a lot from a
programmers
voice like
concern
that,
themselves
right?
with the input-output loop, whereas game designers care more about the desire-motivation loop. The latter loop is built on top of the former, so
What game
even
is
for
that?
game designers, it's vital to remember that information
Sunshine?
can only
Oh,
flow through the provided
Astro.
channels.
I
All of
actually
the
completed
internal
this.
game data is ultimately conveyed via
Oh,
different
my bad. I
wavelengths of
thought it was
light and
some indie
sound,
shit.
which are then reconstructed in
actual
the player's
game.
mind. A player sees a miniature world because they're capable of interpreting
I always thought it was
audio-visual
cool that you could
cues
see
correctly.
other Sony
Without that
games,
interpretive ability,
and that
the
intro for
outputs
Ratchet
seem
and Clank there.
meaningless. If that sounds outlandish, just picture an animal, alien, or artificial intelligence staring at a game designed for human consumption. It's not hard to imagine them being perplexed by the display. Supposing it one day becomes possible to connect players more directly to games, it might be the case that audio-visual communication is no longer necessary. Hypothetically, a game might send signals which directly stimulate a player's mind in such a way as to cause certain perceptions, bypassing any need for interpretation. Taking this a step further, the game might even force players to adopt certain desires or behaviors. For example, a score attack game could have a toggle which forces the player to believe that scoring is the most important goal. Whether such technology ever becomes possible or not, it clarifies the concept of interactivity. Even if a merger only happened temporarily, for that period of time it would no longer be possible to draw a meaningful distinction between the player and the game. Setting aside any worrying implications of such technology, this could be a very enjoyable activity, but it would cease to be interactivity. Interactivity requires a gap between the player and the game, which means that some amount of interpretation must happen in the player's mind. Such communication is inherently ambiguous, but can be quite subtle and nuanced nonetheless. For example, what does this image represent? A simple answer would be that it represents the character's health display, but
You're about
perhaps
to
you've
die.
already skipped to a deeper intuition which can be summed up more easily. Danger. These are two different levels of interpretation. The first order interpretation understands the purpose of the health bar, which can be rationally explained as a simple measurement of a quantifiable statistic. The second order interpretation understands the implication of the health bar being low, which is immediately intuitive but quite difficult to fully articulate. After all, there are many different behaviors the player might wish to adopt because of this low health bar. Games frequently involve life or death situations for the protagonist to overcome, but thankfully those struggles are not real, so even if a game features diegetic death and respawn for the protagonist, the only one truly punished by a setback is the player. Therefore, we might say that punishment is a way the game motivates players. Similarly, players often seek rewards for their accomplishments, and these rewards could be considered another form of motivation. Put simply, the game attempts to provide positive and negative motivation in the form of rewards and punishments, respectively. Certainly, there are tense moments on the cusp of failure where punishment feels imminent, but remember, every piece of audiovisual information must be interpreted by the player in order to make any sense. With that in mind, we should ask a simple question: who ultimately punishes the player? If you're reluctant to admit that it's actually the player who self-punishes, some reflection on your own experiences might make this more obvious. Have you ever been frustrated by a certain game, only to notice that other players seem totally unperturbed by similar events?
As DSP when he watches other streamers with Cat.
Only to notice that other players
How did he
became
clear
frustrated
Resident
at
Evil
that
4
same
super
moment?
hard mode that easily?
Have you ever found a game to be rewarding, only to revisit it and find that it no longer provides such
this fucking
satisfaction?
stupid-ass game,
Have you ever found a game to be
This
pointless,
game
only
is
to give it a second chance
outdated.
and find much more enjoyment than before? It's my belief that any reasonably experienced player must answer yes to at least one of these questions. The first two prove that desires can vary
straight
between
skill
players,
issue.
while the last two
Hey,
prove
goes to
that
goblins.
desires can vary within a single player over time. It's possible to feel rewarded by a game one day and not the next. Therefore, rewards and punishments are not solely a property of a game.
Yeah, this is a 10-minute
At
video
most,
too. He
they're
can watch
a
this.
combinatorial property of the game itself and an interpretation of it. Even a large setback need not feel punishing if you
This could be
find
like a
every
Patreon
moment of
thing.
gameplay to be
Slayer.
intrinsically enjoyable. Of course,
Where you
designers
at?
have many methods at their disposal to provoke a feeling of punishment or reward.
Splatoon.
Developers refer to these tools as extrinsic motivation because they originate
Or
from
like,
outside of the
predatory
player.
microtransactions,
Extrinsic
right?
rewards include achievements, unlockables, loot, narrative progress, cosmetics, and so on. At this point, we enter the
DSP
realm
didn't
of
even get to the
psychology,
battle
which
pass
could
buttons.
postulate
The
theories as
battle
to why
pass,
certain
I'm calling
types
it.
of players value
That
certain
portion is
types of
what's in today.
motivators, but it's not necessary to know the underlying causes for the purposes of this discussion. Motivators become widespread because they often work. If they didn't, then different motivators would be deployed instead. As such, we can assume that typical motivators are typically appealing, but as long as humanity retains any diversity at all, then it must be true that certain players will never care about certain types of extrinsic motivation. Some people will never care about cosmetics, whereas some will never care about achievements. Similarly, any given player is not necessarily compelled by every single form of extrinsic motivation. This might even vary depending on the game. If the story is particularly
brain would've
engaging,
already
a
turned
player
to
might
mush by
become
this
more
point.
invested
What?
in narrative progress than usual. Or if the gameplay is especially enjoyable,
yeah,
they might
Matthew,
use
sure.
collectibles as an excuse to extend their playtime.
Matthew.
Assuming a
Matthew.
developer just
Math,
wants to create a
you.
broadly appealing
Matthew.
game, it might
Hello,
seem wise to
Matthew.
include
Fix your
as
game,
much
Matthew.
extrinsic motivation as possible. But there are at least some exceptions where motivations can conflict with one another. Cutscenes always take some amount of time to resolve, so if a developer includes
DSP hates
cutscenes in an
that.
effort to
You're wasting my
maximize a
time.
player's narrative motivation, they will inevitably cause some portion of narrative-averse players to suffer, however slightly. Every second indulging the story is another second that players' intrinsic desires are not being met, which causes their average enjoyment to drop. Put simply, extrinsic motivation can backfire. The term extrinsic motivation is obviously
Hey,
applicable
look,
to
Breath of the
certain
Wild.
types of rewards, but it's also relevant in minute cases. For example, why are Mario's coins such a successful motivator even though their instrumental value is sometimes quite low? A large part of their desirability probably comes from the simple fact that they resemble a valuable real-world object and they make a pleasant noise when touched. If picking up a coin caused Baby Mario to cry, players might avoid them, no matter how advantageous they were. Likewise, when Ratchet and Clank are showered in bolts, it sounds similar to a slot machine's payout. Perhaps these kinds of subtle
Ah, it does.
associations could be considered exploitive, but developers don't always have an alternative
quite
because the
familiar
game
with that
itself
noise.
could be considered a form of extrinsic motivation, one which promises a somehow enjoyable experience. Before even progressing past the title screen, players are already hoping to derive something from the interaction. This even applies to less hedonic genres and styles such as horror, where players expect a partially negative experience along the way. Sometimes the payoff for a scary or dour game only arrives after an entire playthrough, when the player finds catharsis or can enjoy the intellectual stimulation offered by retrospection. Whatever the case, there's always the hope of something ultimately positive, so developers can't be expected to deny every desire every time. Subversion is also not a foolproof way of avoiding extrinsic motivation, since the player might have opposing values to the developer. Inverting my example from earlier, if a developer removes all cutscenes in an effort to eliminate extrinsic motivators, they will cause some portion of narrative-averse players to feel more rewarded rather than less. Over time, any subversive game will also develop a reputation, and it will become more likely to attract players who see its unusual elements as an enjoyable aspect of the experience. So, not only is it unreasonable to expect developers to avoid extrinsic motivation, it may not even be possible for them to do so. It seems as though some developers have deployed extrinsic motivators as a cynical way of compensating for otherwise lacking gameplay, but even so, extrinsic motivation is not inherently bad. Rather, the important thing to note is that even the most overt extrinsic motivator always requires an intrinsic spark in order to have any effect. This is not to say that the intrinsic component is always under a player's control.
I like that Astrobot
It would still
game.
qualify as interactivity, even if every instance of damage caused the player to be stabbed in the abdomen by an automated knife.
70.
Nobody could be expected to override their aversion to such a horrific punishment by willpower alone. But we can also see that a sufficiently numbed and reckless player would still not be motivated by fear. Thankfully, these kinds of physiological responses are less pronounced when restricted to audiovisual feedback. An extremely loud noise or a flashing light might also cause a nigh uncontrollable response, but accepting certain stimuli, it seems reasonable to assume that players can exert a certain amount of control over their intrinsic motivators. Therefore, in many cases, players can simply invalidate extrinsic motivation. No matter how many tricks are deployed, games happen in your mind, including their punishments, rewards, and everything else in between. To the extent that you can influence your own mind, you can also influence your experience with any games you choose to play.
That's a very good video. Thank you, UNFW, for the video theme. I actually have a couple more that I've been meaning to watch, but previous streams prevented me from doing that. Let's see what we got. My God. Is this? It is! A Shybot video redeem! I don't know about this one, you guys. Did I miss something? It's not letting me watch it. There we go. Hey, it's the Frank Shark Girl.
Daddy, I want a hash brown. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
Thank you, Shybot. Video redeem. And Papuku and Papini with a classic. They're hitting us with the one, the only airplane incident video. But we're gonna watch the daily wrap first, because those videos run for a minute. The daily wrap. Jedi mixed bag. Oblivion progress. Support streak continues. Let's chill on the podcast, then hit the open world of Zelda. May 15, 2020. Yes, that's true. How long is this?
Good
10
evening,
minutes?
Everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Sunday. I'm losing track of the days.
I want this to be over already.
Great streaming day, albeit a very warm one. We're having crazy heat waves right now here in Washington State. unseasonably warm weather, which is probably why you just heard my air conditioner like turn on and off while I'm filming this daily wrap. When normally, you know, I'd have everything off by now, but it is what it is. I'm putting up with it.
It is
all right?
what it is,
so,
man.
What went down today
in Clown Town?
On today's Level 1 podcast, I once again gave my opinions on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now that I've played another 2 hours, and I started to have some apprehensions and or worries about the game as we go further into it. We had some great open discussion about various different topics. It was a good show in general. There was nothing crazy that we really discussed, like no gaming news or anything that stood out, but it was still a really solid podcast.
The Weather Channel, but it's still like a psychic.
Check it out on demand on the channel.
And the psychic is Chris
Well. Today, excuse me, was the continuation of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And the good news here is this was all new stuff. We left the starter planet of Kobo, and we actually first went to a planet named Jeddah, which actually is like a desert planet.
Isn't
with a
the
lot
first
of
planet
platforming, puzzles, and some enemies.
The fuck it's called?
We ended up running into some old friends. I kind of don't want to spoil what happened in the plot, but it was kind of neat.
Yes, the daily wrap, but I don't tell you what exactly happened. If you want to know what happened, watch the video and give me views.
Another totally different thing. This is like a space station kind of a planet where you're just going around fighting enemies, trying to solve puzzles. It was good. Let me put it this way.
Game redeemed?
Gameplay-wise, world design-wise, story-wise, everything was great.
Buddy.
Oh, yeah. And then the game also failed to perform well. In particular, first of all, we ran into a game-crippling bug.
We can't have everything, I guess.
After having done a large amount of cutscenes and development on Jeddah, the game decides I can't activate anything. I can't activate my holotable. I can't use a save point. And when I actually went to use a save point, meditation
Why'd you bug that
the whole
shit,
game
man?
froze. So I had to reload and lost about 15-20 minutes of progress. Luckily, I was able to turbo through and skip all the cutscenes the second time. But again, the game screams lack of polish. Here we are, 2 weeks after it came out, and it's still this broken, and they haven't fixed it yet. Then we went to the Shattered Moon, and the Shattered Moon base, or whatever you call it, had an insanely bad frame rate. Like,
Conquer
this
and
game
Banjo
was
don't appear in the
struggling
Diddy
to
Kong
maintain
Racing
30 frames, if that. It was
port they
frequently
made for
going
DS
below that,
because Microsoft
especially
had the
during
rights at
big
the time
fights.
for
And
those
that's the
characters
problem. If I'm fighting a bunch of
exclusively,
enemies,
and they
I
still
need to
do.
be able to
So
counter
they got
or
replaced
dodge
by
or
Dixie
use an ability,
and
the frame rate
Tiny
is
Kong.
chugging along, and it just happened over and over. It's sad, because like I said, this game is not a bad game if you just don't look at the graphical performance and lack of polish with the bugs. But the game should have a good graphical performance and polish. It's supposed to be a AAA game that they charge $70 for,
on the go, man.
and it doesn't feel like
they won't let me.
And that's the sad part of it, is everything else is good. I mean, we even unlocked 2 new stances today with the lightsaber that both look neat, and I'd like to try
I don't know where these motherfuckers are, because I have no units left.
Playthrough. But man, it's frustrating that the game is this weak when it comes to its performance. But overall, it was a great stream. I did enjoy the game. I'm looking forward to more when we do get to it. The night stream tonight was Oblivion Shivering Isles DLC, and this was heading into the end game. Sorry to say, really, it didn't get better tonight. In fact, it got even worse because we had to do multiple dungeons. Where you were just grinding through against tons of enemies. There was no way to fight them all.
The goal is
if you
to
did, you're
just
going to run out of
outlast the
resources.
enemy.
You know, I tried to buy potions and resources, and they're not even available in the DLC, from what I can see. So basically, I had to run through these dungeons, avoiding enemies, hitting buttons, rushing, healing constantly to get through them. I'm not kidding. There were 3 of them tonight.
All right, last
3 dungeons back to back in the story that all were incredibly similar, boring grinds. We got to the very end. So basically, all that's left is the finale. And the finale, I think there's one more place you have to go, find a person, recharge a staff, and then I guess it's like the big story finale. However, it's going to end in this DLC. So we didn't finish it, but we got darn close, and I'm very happy that we got as far as we did. And it looks like we will wrap this up when we play
Diddy
again
Kong Racing.
It's coming Tuesday night,
Yeah,
and then we can head back.
I don't know why
into the
either.
main
It had
game,
online,
back to the main
but it was also
story,
on a
and
DS,
head into the
and it
end
didn't
game
look
of the
as
story,
good.
and hopefully beat that within another week or
They need
two.
to port that to
so we
Switch
can move
so
on
I
to
can
other
play it
stuff. So
and talk about
good
how
stuff, good
much better it
progress.
is than Mario Kart
Again, I want to
64.
say thank you guys. Pretty crazy. So listen to this. As I said last night, this week we have an unprecedented amount of support. We had 6 straight streams where we hit my support goals.
Yes.
So this morning, I'm on the podcast and some people are coming in and supporting.
I'm thinking
and
that's
it's not
S-rank.
Jinx, who's the person who has come this week and basically done a ton of support, allowing us to hit the goals every stream. It's not them. It's other people. Before Jinx ever even showed up to my first stream today, we had already hit all the tips goals. And I was like, wow, that is amazing. There's a rallying for some reason. I don't know what happened. There's something in the water. There's something in the air. Rallying and support this week is
yes, when
outstanding.
people appreciate and like and support his content, that means there is something going on that shouldn't be going on. There is a mistake. Someone poisoned the water because usually nobody wants to do anything about my content at all, and it is very strange.
Of course, now what happens
Who
is you
acts
hear
like
all
this?
these crazy theories. I had some crazy conspiracy theorist email me. Oh, don't you know that Jinx is a secret detractor who's teaming up with Secret Limited to try to ruin your channel and this and that? And it's like, then other people, oh, don't you know it's only iced coffee and he's just the same guy coming back from 4 years ago supporting you again? And it's, you know, it's nuts. And the thing is, here's the thing. If you haven't noticed, I'm not using a vest counter, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to use a vest streak counter or anything.
Remember when he tried the
all right?
the
if we
jeans
continue to
counter?
get this level of support every stream, I'm
I remember
ecstatic.
that.
It's amazing. It's helping right now. It really is. I'm grateful and appreciative that everyone is kind of coming out and supporting in all the various ways they are. If it ends tomorrow, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I don't want my streams to be focused only on this. I talked about this, you know, this morning, how the vest streak 3 years ago kind of didn't work out because after a few months of it happening, people were all about that and trying to derail the content, and it was more about, gee, will he hit the vest streak tonight, rather than, gee, what's the game he's playing and is it any fun, or you know, I don't want the streams to be about that. I feel like the quality of the content degrades when we just focus on that. So that's why I'm not going to be doing this counter or anything. But hey, if it continues, it does, and you know, people are going to be talking about it because obviously it's happening. It's now 8 straight freaking streams where I've hit my support goals. That's insanely cool. So thank you to anyone who's been on those streams and support it. Anyone who's done behind the scenes, because there's been some overnight tips and stuff. Yeah, if you tip overnight, I always count that tip towards the next stream the next day. So if you happen to be watching this,
yes,
and you, I want
DSP
to support those
investments,
content, I'll
so I
send
can
you an overnight
lose
tip.
everything.
That will count for tomorrow's first stream, okay? So thank you anyone who supported. Really, I'm grateful. You know, 2 more streaming days this week. Can we actually go get a whole week through? I doubt it, but let's see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow, what are we doing? Level 1 podcast in the morning.
Hear that, Jinx?
And then we're going to go back to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And the exciting things about this is that it's the first real time when we're going to hit the open world in Tears of the Kingdom, and we don't have any more like tutorial to do.
Finally
we
getting
can kind of go and
into
do
the meat of the game.
And
Ah,
the
yes,
has opened up, let you go
nice,
any direction
juicy,
you want.
prime cut
We already
meat
kind of have
of
a
the
direction
game.
because we found one of the big towers.
He's
that we
like he's
climbed
got
and
his
it
baby
unveils a
bib
big part
on.
of the map.
He's
So
got
that's
his
probably what we're doing
cartoon
next, and then
fork
go from
with
there.
3 prongs
I'm
in
excited
one
for that.
hand.
It should be fun. Our first
and his
overworld
butter knife in
exploration
the
where
other.
we'll be able to chill and interact while I play. So that's neat. Tomorrow's main stream. And tomorrow night we go back to Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster, playthrough that I very much enjoyed. It is a retro throwback to the games of my youth in the 90s, and looking forward to 2 more hours of retro
Games
RPG
of
fun
my
with you on the
youth.
late shift, okay? There will be a poll tomorrow morning for those who are interested on DSP Gaming during the podcast. I'm going to set up a community poll so people can vote on what game they want to see as the mainstream on Tuesday.
I don't care about
Here's
that.
3 choices. More Jedi Survivor,
Or a
more
hot
Zelda,
game
or
that
more
just
Elden
came
Ring.
out,
So
or
depending on
more
what you want,
game
vote
from
overnight.
20 years
That
ago.
will determine what game we're actually playing Tuesday morning.
Vote now.
And Tuesday night will be more Oblivion and the conclusion of Shivering Isles. One final thing. I have already, earlier today, right at the end of my first stream, posted up the threads over on the community tab of DSP React, where you can nominate the videos you want to see on DSP versus the internet for Saturday coming up. And you might say, wait a minute, he did that already? Why did he do it so early? Well,
I thought
someone
Sunday was the day
proposed
to do
something
it.
interesting to
Oh,
me.
no.
They said, Phil, you realize you've been doing this every week, and you've been doing it right around the same time. And when you're doing it right around the same time, it's the same group of people who are always getting to nominate their videos. So because of that, what's happening is it's the same kind of videos every week. If you had it planned at a different time, like posted at a different time during the day, well, then people in Europe maybe would have a better chance, because the way I've been doing it is
yes,
at the
the
end of my
Eddie
second stream,
Bros.
well, people in Europe are asleep.
The Eddie and Marked Ones.
So I was like, you know
and
what?
Franks
That's fair
of the
enough. Let me
world
try it. So
be
today
able
I
to
did. I
suggest
have
their
posted up
videos.
earlier. I have been approving. I'm actually going to check right now. I'm sure during tonight's late stream, a bunch more people posted up. And
It's
we're going
like
to see
some
if different
confirmation
people
bias
actually
shit.
got to nominate the videos than normal. And they'll, you know, people who've been trying to get their
Maybe.
videos nominated and they never get watched, maybe they'll finally get them watched this time. And maybe what I should do is every week kind of alternate. So you have 2 different groups
Reds
that are nominated
win
at different
again.
times, and sometimes one group will get priority, sometimes the other will.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I don't-
Okay,
I don't
but anyway, so far, I hope it works. And please nominate if you haven't. You got to nominate overnight. If you're hoping to get that video watched on Saturday, you got to do it as soon as possible. All right, guys.
All right,
Thank you so very
right.
much.
Yes.
Please have a good evening. Hope to see you all in the morning for some fun. All right, everyone. Peace out. Have a good night.
We're
I'll
gonna
see you in the
stick it to the
AM.
trolls in the AM. Holy shit. Let's watch planes crashing. Oh yes, I forgot. These videos, these fucking videos got baked in advertisements. It's like I'm watching Freebie or something.
Of Los Angeles. A calm holiday weekend is shattered by a devastating explosion. A neighborhood is destroyed.
Whoa.
I turned and saw my house totally on fire. All the houses behind me were all on fire.
Oh, shit.
Fiery wreckage is strewn for blocks. Investigators must discover why this airliner crashed and find a way to stop it from ever happening again.
Alright, see you later. Thank you for the raid earlier. I hope you continue to enjoy. Ah, yes, Zelda struggle, all this, that, and the butter. Cow butter. This is a true story. The reconstructions are based on eyewitness accounts, cockpit voice recorders, and official reports. Some nice fucking stock music here.
Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, is one of the busiest in the world. It's used by 40 million passengers each year. More than 1,500 planes take off and land every day. It's August the 31st, 1986. Labor Day weekend. Today, a junior air traffic controller, Walter White, will be handling some of that traffic.
Wait, what? Who?
Walter White will be handling... Today, a junior air traffic controller, Walter White, will be handling some of that traffic. White isn't yet a fully fledged controller. He has to put in more time before he gets his final certification.
Hey, Carl, how's it going?
Wait, what?
Slow, slow, slow. Hey, Carl, how's it going?
Hey, Carl.
Hey, slow, slow, slow.
It was a long weekend, and it was a beautiful day in Los Angeles. It was absolutely clear outside, which we call Chamber of Commerce type day.
You want to take a break? Have a cigarette? I can sit in for you.
That was my normal assigned shift, and Walter came in and asked me if I wanted a break, wanted to go smoke a cigarette, and I said, sure. All right. Traffic was light, it wasn't very busy. It was Sunday morning.
Well, certainly any controller is looking to get seasoning, if you will. 3 months, 4 months, that's a pretty new controller.
I
mean, it wasn't my turn for a break. Walter wanted to work the sector. As I remember correctly, he wanted to work
He wants to work the sector. I'm working the sector, baby.
See the runway 25 left.
Roger, Ellie, approach.
Oh, I'm finding way too many fucking
Speed
jokes.
to 200, then descend and maintain 6,000.
200, descend and maintain 6,000. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Several hundred kilometers to the south, passengers are boarding an Aeromexico DC-9. Dr. Donald Wong and his sons are returning from a highly successful fishing trip.
Jason, I think we should put it up in the kitchen.
They caught an enormous sailfish.
Your mom would love it.
Which they plan to display at home.
Labor Day weekend was the last weekend before school was to start. Donald decided that it would be fun to take the boys fishing down in Mexico, to go deep sea fishing, which he'd only done one other time in his life. This would be a father-son bonding weekend. And it was also the first time that they had traveled without me.
Just east of LA, the
fishing trip to
suburban city of
Mexico.
Cerritos
What do they
wakes
plan
up
to
slowly.
catch?
In the
Plastic?
1970s, this bustling community had been one of the fastest growing in Los Angeles County.
My husband had been working out of town all week, and he was coming home for the weekend. And that Sunday morning, I decided, let's just stay home, not go to church.
I'm gonna go out and get your favorite things for a good breakfast.
Don't let the cozy bros hear about that.
Javier, go and take a shower.
And I left to go to the grocery store. In the home was Alex. He was
Imagine
14.
not liking,
His twin
taking a
sister,
shower.
Angelica.
I could go for
She
one
was
right now.
asleep. He was asleep still. And Javier, that was my 16-year-old, and my husband.
As Estrada leaves on her errand, Aeromexico Flight 498 is just 20 minutes from LA. Captain Antonio Valdez Prom is acting as co-pilot as they approach the city. First Officer Jose Valencia is piloting this leg of their journey.
Ready when you are, Captain.
About 22 kilometers south of LAX sits the Torrance Airport. Operating in the mammoth shadow of LAX, Torrance serves private planes and amateur pilots. It's one of several small airports that operate near LA, a region that has over 6,000 weekend flyers.
I thought he said fires for a second.
At the end of a busy summer, William Kramer, his daughter Caroline, and wife Kathleen are finally taking to the skies.
Piper 4891.
All clear for takeoff. Good morning, Piper 4891. This is Torrance Tower. You're clear for takeoff for runway 5.
They're heading to Big Bear Lake.
Rolling tower.
About 200 kilometers northeast. A meticulous man, William Kramer is an executive for an engineering company. 6 years ago, at the age of 47, Kramer bought his first airplane, a stylish and swift Piper Cherokee.
Wings West 5225, Los Angeles approach, depart Sealed Beach, heading 320. Expect a visual approach, runway 25 left. Report airport in sight. Thanks.
Walter White's job as arrivals controller is to make sure incoming planes keep well clear of each other. He's directing them to land on one of two runways.
Visual approach, runway 25 left. Thank you.
Southeast of LAX, the crew of Aeromexico Flight 498 is still a few minutes from their first contact with Walter White. But in the
I just
skies
can't
above
get
Los
over the fact that
Angeles,
he's literally
a deadly
named Walter
series of
White.
events is about to unfold. Dozens of people who have
Can't
never
make
met
this shit up,
will be
man.
bound together forever in a tragedy that will affect everyone who flies.
Airspeed.
August the 31st, 1986, Labor Day weekend.
All clear for takeoff, Torrance.
Just south of Los Angeles, William Kramer and his family are finally on their way for a long-awaited holiday.
Okay. Just an hour to go, we're in Big Bear Lake. The reporting, visibility of 14 miles today. Pretty good.
As the Torrance Airport recedes behind him, Kramer begins climbing to 3,000 meters on his way northeast to Big Bear Lake. Several kilometers away, a half-full DC-9 from Mexico is approaching Los Angeles International Airport.
He didn't attack.
Less than 2,000 meters below them, Teresa Estrada is driving home with the groceries for a holiday breakfast. Her husband and 3 children are waiting just a few blocks away.
That's it. Holiday's over. PSA 1765, 12 plus, 1 mile southbound.
It's not a busy morning, and one by one, arrivals controller Walter White guides his planes in safely.
Report airport in sight.
At 11:47 a.m., he gets his first call from Aeromexico Flight 498.
Los Angeles approach. Good morning. This is Aeromexico 498.
Aeromexico 498, Los Angeles approach. 25 left, final approach course. Do you have information?
Aeromexico Flight 498 is now officially inside what's known as the Terminal Control Area, or TCA. Sometimes referred to as the birdcage, the TCA is a complex piece of three-dimensional airspace around the airport.
It's restricted airspace that's normally found around heavily congested airports or hub airports where the traffic density is extremely high and you need to control the access into and out of that airspace.
Aeromexico 498, traffic 10 o'clock, 1 mile northbound, altitude unknown.
Roger, 498.
Aeromexico 498, reduce speed to 190, then descend and maintain 6,000.
As the Aeromexico plane descends, William Kramer and his family continue climbing.
I hope it's like this when we get to Big Bear.
We should be able to see the ocean by now. Hon, take a look at the map and look around the 4-5 and see if you can see any kind of landmarks that we can use.
Oh, what am I looking for?
Walter White is keeping his eye on the Aeromexico jet when his attention is abruptly drawn to another plane that's just appeared on his radar. It's not one he's expecting.
One approach, 66 Romeo is on a flight from Fullerton.
Cruising altitude is 4,500. We'd like following.
The pilot of a small Grumman Tiger asks White to help guide him through the crowded terminal control area. Pilots are supposed to contact LAX approach before they enter the controlled airspace. This pilot could be in the path of incoming
Old couple
traffic.
gets lost while flying a plane. Hey, the wife should have read the
deal with the
fucking
private
directions
plane,
and told him where to go.
He gets a call from the Aeromexico DC-9.
What speed do you want? We're reducing to 290. No, to 190.
Okay, you can hold what you have, sir.
White decides to give the Aeromexico jet the runway closest to their gate.
Change in plan, sir. Stand by.
Roger, 498.
With the DC-9 on hold, White turns to the intruder.
Grumman 66 Romeo, squawk 4524. Remain clear of the TCA.
White tells the pilot of the Grumman to use a unique radio channel. But he seems confused.
4, 5, what were the other two numbers?
4524. Grumman 66 Romeo, are you at 4,500 now?
Negative, we're at 3,400.
Climbing.
Okay, you are right in the middle of the TCA, sir.
Grumman 66 Romeo, I suggest in future you look at your TCA chart. You just had an aircraft pass right off your left above you at
5,000. And we run a lot of jets right through there at 3,500.
Well, what do you
suggest I do now?
As the crew of Aeromexico Flight 498 continue to close in on the airport,
Landing lights.
their DC-9 is rocked by a violent shudder.
Bugs, altimeter bugs.
What was that?
Aeromexico 498, Los Angeles approach.
First Officer Valencia tries desperately to control their dive.
Aeromexico 498,
Los Angeles approach.
This can't be.
I saw a huge explosion, just the red, vibrant colors of a fire, just huge explosion, like the way a bomb might hit the ground.
White is getting
Wait,
no
I think I've
response
seen
from
this,
the Aeromexico jet.
I think I've seen this on
Aeromexico
video
498, Los Angeles approach.
And now
This is
he
the one where
can't
the
find
plane
it on
crashes
his radar
in like
screen.
a suburb, right? I might be wrong.
I'm sitting there talking
swear I
with the
saw
two
the
departure
video for
controllers and not really thinking. I hear Walter say something like,
I think I lost one. Aeromexico 498, Los Angeles approach.
That immediately got everybody's attention. So we looked at the radars and could hear him calling Aeromexico 498. Called him several times on the radio. Where was Aeromexico? At this point, we weren't absolutely sure what had happened.
White calls to an incoming jet for help.
American 333 Heavy. I want you to take a look around at 11 o'clock. I just lost contact with a DC-9. Let me know if you see anything down there, please.
11 o'clock, 5 miles. What altitude?
He was last assigned 6. He's no longer on my radar scope, American 333 Heavy.
Okay, I see a very large smoke screen off on the left side of the aircraft, about 11 o'clock.
I went down the street to go to my house, and I saw a woman's head, that her body had been cut in a diagonal, and she was just laying there. There was nothing but debris and fire
You're here at the perfect time watching plane crash videos.
I could see the fire in the
Dinger
whole
classic.
neighborhood.
We're bringing it back.
Nearby, an engine from a local fire station had been on a training exercise led by Fire Captain Larry
It's more like
Hamilton.
a documentary than like you don't see the actual crash.
All of a sudden, one of the firemen
The first 30 minutes is dedicated to the crash itself, and the subsequent 30 minutes is dedicated to the investigation
So
that
I
happened
picked up
after.
the mic and made a guess at the address.
Responding to a large fire north of 91 north of Terminator.
They came back and said, well, we've got a report of an airliner down. So I upgraded the response to basically triple what I initially asked for.
I'm calling for a third alarm and 2 air squads east of 183 in Terminator.
As we approached, I realized that in addition to the aircraft parts in the street, there were people, body parts, which changed the complexion of the whole thing.
Set up a perimeter.
At Los Angeles approach, Walter White, deeply shaken by the crash, is relieved of duty.
I remember watching Walter get up and walk out of the room by himself.
I can't take this shit no more, man.
And, you know, something inside of me was just, you know, saying, this is not right, this is not right. Somebody's got to go with him.
Tony, he can't go out alone.
I could have been sitting there just as easy as him. And I don't know if I'd have done anything different than he did.
Helicopter news crews are quickly on the scene.
Fucking vultures, man.
There was a lot of fire in front of me, and my house was just totally on fire.
Frank! Angelica!
Frank?
Angelica!
And I saw my neighbor.
Where are they?
I said to her, Rose, where's my family? What happened? And she goes, oh, honey, your family's in here. They're over here. We're looking for you. And within myself, all I could do was thank God that they were safe and sound. she took me into her home, and I saw Alex.
Alex! Alex! What happened? Where's Angelica? Where's Angelica?
I don't know.
Where's Javier? Where's Papa?
I don't know, Mom. I'm sorry. I don't know, Mom.
And he started crying right away and said, Mom, I'm sorry. I'm the only one that came out alive. And all I could do was hug him.
Pieces of fuselage have torn through nearby homes, setting them on fire. The tail section of the jet has been catapulted more than a block from the crash site.
Yes, Kabuku and Kamimi is the one suggesting playing crash videos. Hello? Why is it too disturbing?
Is there anybody in here?
As I surveyed the houses and the crash site around me, it was a very surreal experience to stand right there for probably 4 or 5 minutes before anybody else showed up.
That's a tough kid.
And not see another living soul.
You try surviving a plane crash.
There are no survivors. Just
Obviously, a family member who's obsessed with disasters. I mean, these are interesting. Not from like a morbid curiosity point of view,
residential fire, but never
seeing how the crash happened, what caused the
people.
plane to go down. I mean, in this case, it was like not reading the fucking map before taking off.
Let's go to work, guys. I don't think I ever saw a whole human being. I gave him the job of finding body parts and wrapping them or covering them with yellow rescue blankets. No matter where it was, ever so small or whatever, you know, a hand or a torso or a leg or whatever. That became life to us. It was treated with respect. My memory of the incident is in a muted shade of brown. It's not black and white, it's not vivid color. You know, the grass isn't green, you know, the houses don't have paint. It's all some muted brown shade. And I'm told that that's my brain's way of taking something violent and horrible
and survivors had to eat each other to survive?
And deal with it.
I did not see that, no. I did not.
Neighborhood has just been torn apart. Yellow sheets.
That's fucked up.
Parts of bodies. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bodies right now.
Why do I have the fucking planes parked here when they can't?
16 houses have been damaged, many of them completely destroyed. At Los Angeles International Airport, Mary Wong is waiting for her husband and 2 young sons.
I went to the airport to pick them up around noon and waited in that area outside of customs and waited and probably, you know, you're thinking, well, customs might take a little while, but about maybe 12:20 or 12:30, I started seeing a man walk around with a pack on his back with a green cross. We were taken up to a lounge upstairs, and on the elevator up, I looked at the man and I said, they're dead. I said, I just know they're gone.
In Cerritos, emergency workers are shocked by another grisly discovery. In the playground of a local school, they find the wreckage of a Piper Cherokee Archer. Remarkably intact, the plane's canopy is sliced off. Its 3 occupants are found still belted into their seats. William Kramer and his family are dead. All the passengers and crew on Aeromexico Flight 498 are also dead. In addition, 15 people on the ground have been killed. It's a horrifying situation. 2 planes have crashed into a California neighborhood. Something's gone terribly wrong in the skies above one of the busiest airports in the world. Now investigators have to find out exactly what happened. On the last day of August in 1986, a lazy Labor Day weekend is shattered by an enormous explosion. Two planes crash in LA County, destroying several houses.
Isn't the map unwinnable at this point?
It's a grisly scene. Bodies are scattered throughout a devastated neighborhood. 82
All because of
people are
fog of
dead.
war. These motherfuckers refusing to approach.
15 people on the ground have been killed. Another 67 have died in the tangled wreckage of the 2 planes involved. Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board arrived that night. They include experts in human performance, flight systems, and air traffic control. From the beginning, investigators are focused on the fact that there are 2 planes on the ground. It suggests a disturbing conclusion, that this was a mid-air collision.
The idea that this had been a mid-air collision was already conveyed to us before we even launched out of Hangar 6 back when we got to word. They saw 2 wreckages coming down, and that's the way it got conveyed to us.
With that idea in mind, John White and his team must painstakingly examine the wreckage.
It's more of now documenting where the major pieces were, and then looking at the pieces to see if you can determine how the aircraft, at what angle the aircraft may have come together at.
Propeller marks on the tail of the DC-9 and paint from the Piper Cherokee reveal how the planes crashed.
I love how they don't do fucking shit until
like,
the moment I move into
the
range.
Piper collided at the tail section of the DC-9, and the horizontal stabilizer came off. And once that happened, you could no longer control the pitch of the DC-9.
The descending DC-9 and the climbing Cherokee met at a 90-degree angle. Their combined speed was 450 kilometers an hour.
Can't there be like a mercy rule for this
The
fucking
impact
game?
tore off the airliner's tail section. Discovering how the planes collided is the first step. The more important question to be answered is why. To piece together the tragedy, investigators examined the DC-9's flight data recorder. It helps them pinpoint the exact location and altitude of Aeromexico Flight 498. The DC-9 was inside the terminal control area, the controlled airspace of the Los Angeles airport. It was right where it was supposed to be. But the Kramer's Cherokee was also inside the TCA.
It's Mr. Pond!
With all of the jets taking off and landing at LAX, private planes must first get permission to enter this area.
Piper 4891, all clear for takeoff, Torrance.
William Kramer was a newcomer to Los Angeles, but investigators learned that he was well aware of the limits imposed by the TCA. He knew that it was restricted airspace. And in the cockpit of Kramer's Cherokee, the confirmation. Investigators find a map of the Los Angeles terminal control area. Investigators make another puzzling discovery. They learn that the Kramer's proposed flight plan took them from Torrance to Long Beach, then up to Ontario, and finally to Big Bear Lake, at a cruising altitude of 3,000 meters. That plan keeps him well out of the TCA.
The fact of the matter is that the Cherokee flew into the TCA and hit the DC-9 in restricted airspace without a clearance.
So how had Kramer flown into danger? And why hadn't he let anyone know? On the ground in Cerritos, one possible answer emerges. Heart disease runs in Kramer's family, and the initial autopsy results show a major blockage.
Hey, Nell's trying her best. It's not her fault I fucking suck at this game.
Kramer may have suffered a heart attack on the flight, leaving the plane without a pilot.
Do we actually just not know? Is that a theory?
Samples of William Kramer's heart tissue are sent to the Armed Forces Institute of Pathology for testing. If he suffered a heart attack, it might explain why he didn't call in to LA Approach.
It's totally possible that he could have had the heart attack, fell back, pulled the airplane up, and that's why he didn't try and avoid the DC-9.
But no matter why Kramer was flying in restricted airspace, Air Traffic Controller Walter White should have been able to see
why did I do that?
Kramer's plane should have appeared on White's radar.
Because I didn't mean to bring the infantry over there.
Before being questioned by investigators, White reviews the radio calls from that morning. He needs to be sure of what he said and what he saw.
True.
Richard Wentworth was one of the investigators who talked to White.
My name's not Richard Wayne. I ain't
At
trying
any
to
time,
investigate nothing.
did you see the Piper Cherokee on your scope?
No. No, sir. The Piper's target was not displayed. It is my belief that it was not on my radar scope.
He was positive that the aircraft was not there for him to see.
Yeah, negative. His name was
NTSB
James.
investigators aren't satisfied with
DSB
White's memory.
investigators? I might have misheard that.
While the radar data is being analyzed, news arrives from the Armed Forces Institute of Pathology about William Kramer's heart.
Oh, wait.
Are you all right, Bill?
Results from a detailed study of his body show that while he had advanced heart disease, William Kramer was not fighting a heart attack before the
So you
collision.
see how I misheard that?
Investigators must find another explanation for why the Kramer's flight went into the Los Angeles terminal control area. While he had submitted a flight plan, small planes like Kramer's Cherokee don't have sophisticated instruments. Like most private pilots, Kramer was navigating by landmarks like freeways. That meant keeping an eye both on the landscape below and the airspace around him.
No, it's definitely the 405. Where is it again?
John Andrews is an aviation expert who testified about the circumstances of the Cerritos disaster.
The pilot of the Piper was navigating by visual landmarks, possibly attempting to follow parallel to a freeway, and that he had become confused about which freeway he should have been following.
New to California, perhaps bewildered by the tangle of freeways below him, Kramer may have flown into the terminal control area without knowing it.
There are no lines on the ground that says the TCA starts here and at this altitude. You have to look at a chart, you have to interpret that.
Investigators are now confident they can explain why Kramer was inside the controlled airspace of the TCA.
It's a game of the year.
But when he finally gets a look at the air traffic control radar record, Richard Wentworth is convinced that Walter White should have been able to see the Piper.
We were able to determine that the aircraft that collided with Aeromexico was there to be seen.
So why hadn't White reacted to the Kramer's plane if it was on his radar? When Walter White came to work that day, the arrival station was being controlled by Carl Grundman.
Hey, Carl. How's it going?
Hey, Carl.
Hey. Slow.
Grundman believes that long-standing radar problems were the reason White didn't see the Kramer's plane.
I can sit in for you.
Controllers have been complaining about the radars for a long time.
Here's, buddy. All right. Thanks a lot. Take care.
We had reported problems with the radar not picking up targets several times.
When radar signals strike a target, they bounce back to the receiver. But if buildings or mountains interrupt the radar, the return signal can disappear.
You may lose one target. You may lose two targets. It may not be presented for one sweep.
Did you see the Piper Cherokee on your scope?
No, sir.
But that doesn't mean that the target isn't there. A blind spot is only an instantaneous thing. It's not a continuous thing.
I think I lost one.
There were also holes that were just because the radar was old. It was just not as accurate as it might have been.
Oh, they should have updated then.
Sure.
California, right?
There's an effect called flicker. When a computer becomes overloaded, the scope will flicker. Every now and then, targets will drop out or can drop out. We reviewed that data. We had no evidence that there were any malfunctions of any systems.
I like the
in
southern
Los
music that's
Angeles.
playing while this guy's talking.
There is another possible explanation. If the Cherokee had appeared on the radar,
If only
White
they were
still
running
could have
Windows
missed it.
9.
Investigators focus on the other plane in the sky that day, the Grumman Tiger. Private planes are required to contact air traffic control if they're entering the terminal control area. But the Tiger was already deep into the TCA before it radioed Walter White.
One approach, 66 Romeo is on a flight from Fullerton.
Cruising altitude is 4,500. We'd like following.
Grumman 66 Romeo, are you at 4,500 now?
Negative. We're at 3,400
and climbing.
Okay, you are right in the middle of the TCA, sir.
There was an aircraft that was east of the airport, which he became involved in. That was what they called a violator.
Grumman 66 Romeo, I suggest in future you look at your TCA chart. You just had an aircraft pass.
The problem with the conversation between the controller and the pilot of the Grumman is that it went on too long.
Why were you so mesmerized by the Grumman?
I thought he posed a risk.
This occurred during a critical time at which the two aircraft to the southwest of his display, which was the Aeromexico and the Cherokee, were merging.
But even if the Cherokee signal did appear on White's radar, and even if he had seen it, investigators discover that White still would not have had all the information he needed. Radar signals
He literally
only show
did nothing
controllers
wrong.
that a plane is in range. Transponders on planes can broadcast other information, including height and speed. But at the site of the Cherokee wreckage, investigators discover the plane's transponder is a basic model. It only sends out information on the plane's direction. It provides no information about the plane's altitude.
So these controllers were pretty much used to seeing a little triangle which represented a VFR aircraft with no altitude readout, traversing all over the place. And unless they learned firsthand from the pilot, they had an expectation that the aircraft would not intrude into that airspace.
Grumman 66 Romeo, squawk 45.
Investigators believe that White's divided attention, perhaps made worse by an older radar system, explains why air traffic control never warned the DC-9 of the danger posed by Kramer's Cherokee.
Any landmarks that we might be able to use as a visual.
But there's another mystery that hasn't been solved. Studying the radar records from the day, NTSB investigators are startled by what they find. Neither the crew of the DC-9 nor the pilot of the smaller Cherokee took any evasive action before the crash. both pilots appear completely unaware of each other.
Definitely the 405.
Why hadn't the pilots of either airplane reacted? Visibility was over 20 kilometers. How could two planes collide in the clear blue sky? To try to get a better sense of what was happening inside the Aeromexico cockpit, investigators listened to the airplane's cockpit voice recorder.
Los Angeles approach, this is Aeromexico 4.
The flight crew had put Walter White on their overhead speakers. The microphone for the cockpit voice recorder was right beside the speakers.
Approach, depart Seal Beach, heading 320.
Much of what the pilot said was drowned out by White's voice.
Reduce speed to 200, then descend and maintain 6,000.
Altimeter bugs.
The radar information paints a puzzling picture. It indicates that for more than a minute, the Kramer's Cherokee was there to be seen by the Aeromexico crew. And if the Kramers had looked out of their right side window, they would also have seen the Aeromexico jet. But neither plane altered its course. Neither plane took any action to avoid the deadly collision. Investigators believe that if William Kramer was indeed lost and using the freeways as a guide, he might never have seen the approaching DC-9. The window he would have been looking out of was the pilot's window, but the DC-9 was coming from the other direction.
A visual landmark that I can...
This would have been a very unfortunate situation because the DC-9 was approaching from the far right side and in fact could only be seen out the passenger's window, which was on the right side of the aircraft.
For the crew of the DC-9, the very size of the much smaller Cherokee could have prevented them from seeing the plane before it was too late.
In some cases, when the small aircraft is closing very rapidly, by the time the aircraft becomes large enough for you to easily see it, it's almost too late to avoid the collision. The FAA generally has taken a sort of as a rule of thumb that you need about 12 seconds in order to see an aircraft, decide that it's a threat, and then execute an avoidance maneuver. In the case of the collision at Cerritos, by the time the aircraft became large enough to see, you were down very close to that 12-second limit. In case after case of mid-air collisions, we find out that the aircraft gave no indication that they saw each other until the time they actually collided.
The design of the cockpit windshield may also have contributed to the disaster.
Hey, Maria.
It's possible that during part of the approach, at least for one of the pilots, the aircraft was actually behind the center post, and unless the pilot moved his head back and forth to clear that airspace, unless he had a reason to do that, it's possible the aircraft was obscured during part of the time in which he might have had a chance of seeing the other aircraft.
Ignition.
The disaster over Cerritos revealed several tragic weaknesses in the air traffic control system. One of the most glaring was that pilots could not be relied on to see and avoid each other. They'd need new technology to keep a mid-air collision from happening again. A small California neighborhood is rocked by a terrifying plane crash. "82 people are killed when a private plane slams into a large passenger jet. The devastation is enormous. More than a dozen houses are damaged, several leveled completely. The NTSB report makes it clear that there are glaring problems across the air traffic system. And these concerns must be addressed before inevitably there is another mid-air disaster.
I didn't get back to...
The FAA, which regulates the airline industry in the United States, acted swiftly to improve safety.
I but I heard about it.
A new kind of transponder was required for smaller planes, the kind that might have helped air traffic controllers recognize that the private aircraft posed a danger.
Pretty lame.
If you
should go back to
had an
talking about
aircraft
video games
that flew under a controlled airspace. You would have a transponder, and you would be required to have altitude encoding or reporting. That way it would be no mistake as to whether you had an intruder or not.
A new system called Mode C Intruder was also developed to warn air traffic controllers.
Mode C Intruder is an automated program that is now incorporated in all our major radar facilities, that if an aircraft should inadvertently intrude, the controller will now be given a visual and an oral alert, thus giving him time to provide a timely warning to the pilot.
In-range check. Seatbelts, engine ignition.
Even for the most diligent pilot, the old strategy of sea in the void had serious limitations. Those limitations would be addressed with the most important innovation of all.
The major technological innovation that came out of the Cerritos mid-air was the congressional mandate that all air carrier aircraft operating within the United States would be outfitted with TCAS, Traffic Collision and Avoidance System.
John Andrews worked on the team that developed TCAS.
The TCAS collision avoidance system, which was under development, quite possibly could have prevented this accident. TCAS gives the pilot a traffic advisory at 45 seconds before the potential collision.
Hey, Maria. Everything okay back there?
And then at approximately 25 seconds or so before the potential collision, a resolution advisory is given to actually tell the pilots to climb or descend to avoid the altitude of the other aircraft.
Today, commercial airlines around the world use TCAS. The pilot of the Grumman Tiger, the so-called third pilot whose actions may have played a part in the crash, was eventually charged for flying into controlled airspace in a careless and reckless manner. For Walter White, the effect of the disaster over Cerritos could not be overcome.
Walter came back to the Tracon, and I think it was probably a month or so later. And I can't give you exactly how long he stayed there, but it wasn't very long. And he just got up and said, no, thank you.
Yeah, I can't believe this guy's named Walter White. I don't know when this episode came out, but...
And as far as I know, he
how does that
didn't
guy
talk
even go
airplanes
to
again.
work without people making jokes at his expense? Hey, what's up, Heisenberg?
Within a year
All right,
of the
Carl, that
incident,
joke got
the
old
old
yesterday.
radars at LAX were replaced.
But you already knew that.
In Cerritos, a memorial garden now marks the day of the disaster. Mary Wong has since remarried, but the pain of returning home that day will never go away.
There's nobody here. The house is empty. Derek was already living in an apartment in San Diego, and here I was. I was no longer a mother, except to Derek, and I was no longer a wife.
The story's got all the
And so
clowns
it
in it. We got
shattered
Derek, we
my
got
whole
Carl. Hey,
world.
Carl. We got Heisenberg.
Days after the disaster, Mary Wong met one of the few people who could fully understand her loss.
I went to the memorial service, and it was very important to me to try to meet somebody else who had gone through this. And I knew from reading stories that Teresa had lost her husband and 2 children. And so I saw someone there who I thought was Teresa.
She says, "Are you Teresa Estrada?" And I said, "Yes, I am." She says, "Well, my name is Mary Wong." And she says,
I said, "I lost my husband and children also."
I just wanted to grab her and hug her. Because she was feeling what I was feeling.
So we had an immediate connection, and we've maintained our friendship over these 20 years.
Yes, friendship prevails.
Everyone who flies today has been affected by the mid-air collision over Cerritos. The disaster led to historic improvements in aviation safety. Since the full adoption of the TCAS system, there has not been another mid-air collision in the United States.
Thank you, Papuku and Papimi, for that video. Nice to know that was the last mid-air collision that ever happened in this country. I was on a flight to Jordan. Our pilots dropped the plane and scared the shit out of everyone. Was it a joke? Were they just goofing? Dude, I would have been fucking terrified. You don't know! Did you see wings over in Jordan? Get it? But the plane dropped a good distance. You just got no explanation. We're like, okay, yeah, mea culpa. Alright, let's see how I lose this map. Now, obviously, it's going to be an inevitable L because I lost my supplier. Heisenberger can't get his fucking drugs anymore. I guarantee these motherfuckers aren't moving. They're waiting for me to approach. No. This fucking plane can't repair itself. Oh, fuck. We already lost. Oh, wait, it's anti-air. I actually made the right move. They never said anything over the intercom, so I assumed it was real. They didn't want to disturb the passengers. Even though that's what ended up happening anyway. Yeah, I probably should stay away from that unit. Why did he retreat though? Yeah, nice try, moron. Okay, I'll take it back. Fuck. I really take it back now. No. What do they want me to do about that? I don't have anything that can fucking strike them. The game needs to learn when to wrestle control for me if something's unwinnable. I hate wasting my time, right? Okay, that was not worth it. Why did I go for that? Please let me get rid of this guy. And maybe that's the last plane unit, but I can't target him at all whatsoever. So, thank you, Nintendo. And he's not even moving now. How does the game think that... How does the game want me to target him? I can't. It's literally impossible. Moron. It's like, I get it. I get it. The enemy doesn't want to attack. But at the same time, it's like, don't you think the devs should have added in parameters of it, like, okay, it's literally impossible for you to win the map, so we'll just have them interrupt the gameplay and say, oh, well, there's literally no way for you to win, because you can't take control of your HQ because you ran out of infantry, and you can't target this bomber unit, and that's the only unit you need to target to win, so you lose. It's like, that's not even an option. You can't even take the L. It's like, you want me to just wait until I die? Because that's the only other option. I'm sorry. See, even the enemy understands that there's nothing it can do. Do they want me to... I guess the game's is... It can't be a mercy kill rule because there's a chance the bomber runs out of fuel before I do. But he doesn't want to move. And what if that's not even... I don't even know for sure if that's the last unit, because every map in this game has Fog of War, because Fog of War is great or something. Right? I just want to see if that's the last unit. This unit can move a little bit faster on the move. See, there it is. It has just destroyed me, so my theory can't even be put into... Okay, there were 3 units. Look at this! There were 2 bombers left. What did they want me to do? Ah! Oh, man. Might have to try one of the other maps. A hopeless endeavor, as they say. I just wanted to play as Sammy. How many maps was that for today? 2? I felt like we did more than that. Throw out 3. We did 3. That's better than no maps, I suppose. Oh man, I think I'm clocking out. That's good enough. This is a night stream anyway that nobody cares about. Finished all the video redeems though, so that's good. We got a clean slate for Mario Monday in a couple of hours. By couple, I mean at least 12. Yeah, it's a short stream, Mr. Pun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I couldn't win big at the casino. I'm sorry my deficit keeps growing. I'm sorry I don't listen to my internal voice. I'm sorry I keep saying hit me. And then when I get pummeled into the ground, I keep saying hit me. Because I don't know how to stop saying hit me. They're hitting me too hard. Yeah, it's a Mimi moment. Hashtag Mimi moment. Oh, that sounds good right about now, doesn't it? Wait a minute, I put in the wrong music. No, I'm not starting the stream, I'm ending it. This is how you know I'm tired. 2, party, we're ready. Unfortunately, we are not ready to party. I need to get a command for this. Oh, that should be the next command, a command that only I can use that ends the stream. That would be the best suggestion ever, and it wouldn't be bad at all. why I will never implement it. Because my ideas all have to be bad. I'm not allowed to have good ideas nor implement them. Big ups Gondola for showing up. Audrino, Mr. Pun, Eddie B, Perezga, Aqua Saber, E5 Fona, OSMC, UNFW1, Swollen Dingus, dude, I love that guy. Arcadius, Rummy89, the amazing positive lurkers like Almighty Tevin, Alpha Elite, DJ Runa, Juzzy51, Natal Cog, Peaches Akeem, Shroom Dukem, Rexum underscore, D-Scythe, Grizzly, J Frosty, Kian Goon, Mad Editor, Sir Casper, and all the other felons. We'll be back tomorrow, just technically today, with Ario Monday. Yes! We have Alpha Elite and Resub Prime for 13 months, and UNFW1 rate with a party of 2. I know there's a lot of people streaming, but they've been streaming all night and all day, I think. So we're just gonna take the easy, lazy route. Let's go to Tevin's place. Yeah, I'd be here longer, but I'm too, that ding impression is hitting me. Play this game when I don't feel like I lost big. Happy Mother's Day! Oh, video redeem? We'll have to watch it next time. Long documentary for later consumption. Ah, yes, correct. Because that's what I do all the time on my streams. Ah, yes, all I do is watch long documentaries that nobody cares about, and for no reason at all, when I could be entertaining the audience by talking. I obviously watch documentaries because I don't want to talk at all, because I've had a bad day, and I obviously don't want to be having to do a stream where I have to talk for 3 hours and such nonsense and all that. Ah, yes, let me just play a video instead, so I can have the video do the work for me. Right. I'm just playing with you guys. Have a good night. Adios!